Subscribe to my sister's channel. She will also voice her favorite plots. Let's give her a big asset. And then came the birth of Kushina Uzumaki. She was the wife of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. At the moment, Kushina was in a shelter that her husband had prepared for childbirth, and this is all so that if the demon fox breaks out, he will be far from Konoha, and that's what the village hidden in the foliage was called. And now a dozen elite ANBU of the fourth Hokage are guarding the entrance to the shelter, and 2 more ANBU guards were guarding inside the shelter. These people were very trusted. At this time, the fourth was holding back the seal, and Sarutobi's bivouac was delivering Kushina Uzumaki. And the bivouac began to speak loudly so that Kushina would calm down. Kushina, push and push, come on, you can, you've almost become a mom. And you will also have 3 beautiful children, you have to endure the pain, push for this. The bivouac spoke to Kushina in a soothing, loud and gentle voice. Kushina started talking very loudly while answering the bivouac, because it was painful for her since she had to give birth to 3 children. I can do it. I can do it. I have to raise my children beautiful and smart. Ay. Kushina shouted in a tired voice, because she had already given birth for 8 hours, and all because of Kyubi, who was in a hurry to escape from the sewer of shit where he went small and large. Minato was silent and all this time looking at Kushina with blue eyes and telling them that everything would be fine. But it was not there. They were attacked by a man in an orange spiral mask, and in the eye cutouts Minato saw a Rinnegan in the left eye, and in the right Mangek Sharingan, and that's all he saw under the mask. And so he began to speak to an unknown masked man who had already killed all the ANBU of the fourth Hokage. Minato Namikaze. Please give the Jinchuriki to me or I will kill your son, for example, this blonde, said the man in the spiral mask who had already somehow quickly taken the child from the bivouac while cutting her throat. Before that, Minato, who was standing next to Kushina and holding her hand, got very angry and his eyes became cold and steely. The look was a shinobi who had seen a lot in this life for a small number of years. And so Minato looked at Kushina, and she only began to speak in a barely audible voice. Minato is faster, save our children, and leave Naruto here because I think he will be the new Jinchuriki, and also save mine faster, there are no our children. Kushina shouted already at the last words, while she held Minato's hand while squeezing it hard. Minato was not very happy because her look and voice became a little negative towards Naruto, whom they called so before giving birth. Minato only obeyed and promised at all costs to make sure that Naruto did not follow the path of revenge, even if he had to leave Kushina. Minato felt the most affection for Naruto, as Minato could easily understand which person would be the soul. And Minato began to speak to Kushina in a steely voice, I will save our children and you too. Minato said in a slightly raised tone, and so Minato teleported with the help of Hiration to the children, namely to the Menma of their second son and to Naruko's only little daughter. They also came up with a name for them before giving birth. Minato grabbed them and teleported them home and carefully placed them on his and Kushina's bed. And the Hokage teleported back to the shelter and saw a terrible picture, namely that the masked man had already freed the fox and subdued him with his Mangekyo Sharingan, and Minato quickly took Kushina and teleported her into the house and put her next to the children. Kushina hugged them and Minato disappeared in a yellow flash. And now the stranger already wanted to pierce Naruto with the tip of his scythe as Minato justifies his nickname of Yellow Lightning, and he grabs Naruto in the air who was almost pierced in the heart, but the scythe caught his eye. Minato thought that Naruto would not have an eye as he saw that there would be an even scar in that place, not like Kakashi thought Minato, and he grinned. An accident happened. The diapers almost exploded as the Hokage threw them into an old shed while quickly throwing them off, and the shed shattered. Minato left Naruto on a large tree branch, and he teleported to the masochist and started a fight with him, and so Minato attacks his opponent in taijutsu. Minato began to hit first with his left hand, then with a right turn, and he made another turntable as all the blows passed by. The masochist started talking laughing. Minato Namikaze, and you justify your nickname of Yellow Lightning, but you're probably slow once you can't hit me. A stranger in a spiral mask of orange color said all this, that if it were not for the flattened state, it would look like the orange shit of this person. Minato began to speak with steel in his voice. Then I'll kill you and you won't threaten my family and village anymore. Minato said loudly, ignoring his words, and so Minato teleported away from him to a short distance and took Minato his trademark kunai and threw it powerfully while adding the lightning chakra there. While kunai was flying, the fourth quickly formed a Rasengan, and when kunai passed through his enemy, he teleported and appeared behind the masochist and slammed him into the ground with all his strength, that he only fell and spat blood into the mask, but he disappeared in a spiral while speaking in a heavy tone since he was wounded. I'll come back and then I'll kill you and your son. The man grinned under the mask, of which his grin was not visible to the fourth. Minato just did not linger, as he already found himself near the fox, who had already defeated 1/4 of Konoha and killed 1/10 of the people. Minato also saw that Hiruzen with his pole, which was lengthening and becoming shorter, was pushing the fox away from the village in a place with Danzo Shimura. And they were doing well, and the ANBU was attacked by fox techniques. And then Minato summoned a big frog, namely the big boss. And Minato told him, help the third one, while I prepare everything for sealing. Minato said softly at the last words, but the big boss heard him and said loudly, now everything will be at its best, said the big toad in a loud voice that probably stunned everyone who was nearby. And so Minato called the altar to seal the fox while folding more than 30 seals, and the Hokage teleported behind Naruto and returned in a flash near the altar, and he put his son on this altar. And so Minato wanted to fold the seals of the summoning of the god of death, as Danzo stops him and says in a serious voice, Minato, let me seal him into your son. I have done a lot of bad things in this life, let my death in the name of the village at least make amends for all my sins. Shimura Danzo said in all seriousness, and Minato then nodded and a single tear rolled down from him, and Danzo folded the seals and called Shinigami, and Hiruzen, when he saw Shinigami, he still saw Danzo and understood everything. He quickly found himself near Danzo and began to say goodbye to him, telling him with sadness in his voice, goodbye Danzo, I won't forget you, you're a hero, you've done a lot for the village. Goodbye friend, said Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage of the village. Hidden in the foliage, Danzo just nodded and told Shinigami to seal the Kyuubi in Naruto. Meanwhile, Kyuubi was restrained by Hiruzen and ANBU. Shinigami, listening to all this, began to fold the seals, and he messed up the seals a little and sealed the whole fox in Naruto while he disappeared along with Kyuubi. Naruto's chakra became heavier and became dense, and its volume was large. Naruto's hair color changed to bright white with red stripes. Naruto's eyes became pure diamond color. Minato was scared when he saw this, but he did not disown his son, but only he realized that it was all because of the nine-tailed demon fox. Hiruzen saw that Danzo started to fall and picked him up and went to bury him at the root base. Minato said in a saddened voice, let me go with you to Hiruzen myself. Minato said with sadness in his voice. Hiruzen began to speak in a calm, suppressed voice, because his best friend Danzo Shimura had died. No Minato, you're going somewhere Naruto, and I want to say goodbye to Danzo personally, with his wards. Hiruzen said in a depressed voice, and the old man also had lonely tears rolling down. Minato understood everything and just nodded, and he disappeared into the yellow lightning. He turned out to be near Naruto and picked him up. Minato chakra signed in his name Naruto on a piece of paper and teleported to the shelter of the third Hokage. The shelter of the third was the best, and Hokage thought that Naruto would be fine in this shelter, but it would not be there in the future. Minato knocked on the door while leaving his son near the shelter on the 10th of October, and it was still cold in the meantime, as winter was quietly beginning. According to the author, if you like the prologue, then like it, write a review, and I write parts for a long time and I still have to reread to correct mistakes, the plot will be huge. The end of the author's story. And when the fourth Hokage left the boy near the best shelter of Sarutobi Hiruzen, the greatest professor, who was so-called shinobi because of his knowledge of the 5 elements and many techniques, some even called him the third shinobi god. And then a woman of about 40 came out, and she came out because someone knocked on the door and because the child was crying. When the woman saw the little child, she picked it up and took it to the shelter. And when the woman went to her room, she began to treat his eye wound. The woman when she first saw the child was very scared because there was a lot of blood and now she was treating the wound and bandaging the wound with a bandage. The woman thought, who is his so? And so the teacher saw a note that was glued to him, namely on his back, and it was written there, "Take care of him, his name is Naruto and let him choose his last name at the age of 3, I'm sure just that he will be a genius." The signature is a shadow of the 4th generation. And from this day begins the path of shinobi for our little protagonist. And that's when Minato disappeared, he found himself in his Hokage office. Minato shouted in a commanding tone, "The dog." Raven, 2 Byoshnik appeared in front of the Hokage in the mask of a raven and a dog and they got down on one knee while bowing their heads. And they said in a cold tone, "Yes, Hokage herself." Called? They asked the 4th Hokage without emotion. Minato only ordered in a tone that did not require objections and questions that the Anbu did not ask what was what. "Yes, I did, you must gather all the clan heads. This is an order and carry it out immediately." Minato was not himself and said already with anger, and the Anbu immediately disappeared and began to convene a council of clan heads and elders, and now, half an hour later, everyone was already sitting in their seats and waiting only for the Hokage, and they were thinking why they were called, but only one thought came to mind, namely the attack of the Kubi. And now in Hiration, the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze appears in his place and he begins to talk about the topic of the meeting in a calm voice, because everyone is in the assembly and he was worried about only one fact: "This is Naruto, I am Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage of the village hidden in the foliage. I announce a meeting on the topic. The attack of the Kyubi is open," Minato said loudly. And everyone immediately understood what was going on and their guesses were correct and... After a short pause, Minato began to speak with a very cold voice, "And so, first of all, we'll start with what are we going to do with the 9-tailed Jinchuriki? They are my son, but I gave him to the orphanage because Kushina does not want him to live with us." I understood this from her tone of voice and look, and I did not like it. Minato said with anger and sadness the last words that everyone heard and did not blame Minato, but everyone considered it normal to be henpecked by such a girl, and everyone understood this because of her character. The head of the Hyuga clan said with hatred for the Hokage and his abandoned son, "Hokage, I think he needs to be killed." Hayashi Hyuga, the head of the Hyuga clan, said with hatred for many people and contempt. Fugaku Uchiha, the head of the Uchiha clan, began to speak in a serious voice, "Give him to me in the clan. In case he is captured by Kyubi, then we will take control of him and pacify the fox," said the head of the Uchiha clan in a serious tone, and looking at Hyuga Hayashi with hatred. Someone else wanted to object, but the Hokage intervened and said with composure, "It is forbidden to take Naruto to the clan. Because he can get attached to the clan and be against the village. This is if he gets attached to the clan and wants to use it as a weapon. I trust the Uchiha, but the rules are the same for everyone." Minato said in a reasonable tone and cool. Shikaku Nara began to speak judiciously after he had thought everything over and everyone began to listen to him, even the Hokage. Since the Nara clan is the smartest clan in the world, he can be left in a shelter or given to the Anbu and he will be their pupil. From this you can take the advantages, namely, if he is in the Anbu, he will become strong, intelligent, reasonable, responsible, and the advantages can still be continued, but if he is brought up in a shelter, He is 100% likely to get on the path revenge because he will be hated by all the inhabitants of Konoha, even the heads of clans, said reasoning Shikaku Nara in a calm voice. That everyone began to agree with this, Hokage said with an already calmer voice. If so, then who is in favor of Naruto becoming a pupil of ANBU, then let them raise their hands. Hokage became glad in his heart that Shikaku proposed such an idea, but did not show it in appearance, and now almost everyone raised their hands except for the Hyuga clan and two elders, namely Hamuro and Koharu, who shouted to kill Jinchuriki and reprint him in a trusted person of the elders, but everyone missed the words of the elders. And the Hokage began to speak in a cold tone, which made everyone shudder. I am removing the old elders from office, and Fugaku Uchiha and Shikaku Nara are moving to their place, and this is not discussed, Hokage said in a harsh tone, but no one objected, but only supported this idea, and now new elders appeared. And the old Hokage ordered them to be given to a nursing home and erase the memory of such personalities where they know important information. This was ordered by the Hokage. Everyone was shocked and glad that the Hokage had almost steel balls, and these elders greatly infuriated all the heads of clans except Hyuga. Those in general did not care what was happening in the world around them. And Minato began to speak calmly without emotion. The root of ANBU passes into the hands of Sarutobi Hiruzen since Danzo was his best friend and teammate. You also already know that Danzo died, but the culprit of this celebration is Uchiha, namely a man with Rinnegan and Mangekyo Sharingan. I have already sent my ANBU for him. Everyone listened to the Hokage and was amazed by this. But no one blamed the Uchiha clan as the fourth Hokage explained everything to them. Everyone just nodded and agreed. Minato spoke calmly. And so they continued to talk about other important topics, for example, the restoration of the village, the funeral of the dead, the search for corpses and many other things. In a word, only hemorrhoids, so Minato and Shikaku thought. And so the meeting ended, and then Minato Namikaze immediately moved with the help of Hiraishin Enlightening to the office where the teacher was sitting with Naruto, and Naruto was healthy and crawling around the table. So Minato noticed. Minato, seeing this picture, was touched and approached his son, and at the same time speaking to the teacher in a tone that does not require refusal. I'm taking him to my ANBU, do you have any objections? Minato said in a happy tone at the end. That the teacher only nodded, because the Hokage spoke in such a tone that this boy, no, even this baby is very dear to him. The teacher just nodded and answered, yes, yes, she herself. There are no objections. Will you adopt him, or can it be your son? I was just surprised by your reaction when you saw him, and can I ask another question? Is this your child with Kushina? The teacher said in a cheerful and interesting tone, questioning the Hokage. Hokage just rolled his eyes and told her calmly, I can't tell you much, but this son is mine and Kushina's, but now it's purely mine. Don't ask any more questions and don't tell anyone about it or you'll be punished. I also still have documents on my son, so I don't need them. Good luck to you. Minato said. That the teacher shivered and only nodded and then calmed down when the Hokage began to speak calmly at the last words, and so Minato disappeared in Hiraishin to the headquarters of ANBU Hiruzen, namely to the headquarters of the root of ANBU, since Hiruzen got it from Danzo, and all the people who served in the root remained to serve further in the root already under the command of Hiruzen Sarutobi. Hiruzen also insisted that he would raise Naruto as a strong shinobi and raise him as his own son. Minato was happy then, and Kushina would not know for sure that he was purely my son, and Naruto. Minato's mother did not write in the documents, but only removed her, since his feelings for Kushina disappeared, but he decided to continue to stay with his wife. This all happened after the meeting, because Minato passed by the fact that Jiraiya's student, he is also a student of the third Hokage, and Hiruzen then stopped him and they went strolling into Hiruzen's office while talking about Naruto and that Minato needs to return his son, but only to himself and not to leave his wife after all. And when they reached Hiruzen's office, then he went into the office, but before he went in, he said in a calm old man's voice, I want to take him to my ANBU, I will grow a strong shinobi out of him and raise him as my own son or grandson. And Minato only then nodded and disappeared after Naruto to the orphanage, and Hiruzen was glad that he had such a wonderful student. And now Minato is already standing near the third Hokage and passes his son Naruto to the old man third. Hiruzen took it and already started to leave as he said calmly, "Don't forget to return the dog and the raven to me. I gave you my ANBU at your disposal, namely those two." Minato just nodded, and Hiruzen, calming the baby, carried him into the room and Minato disappeared in lightning and said that a decent person, namely the third herself, would be able to look after Naruto, and so Naruto stayed with Hiruzen. And Minato disappeared home and saw Kushina cooking, and it was already morning, namely 7 o'clock in the morning, and Kushina barely had time to do business as the children were crying. And Kushina started swearing at Minato by hitting him with a frying pan. "Where have you been, you stooping goat? You've been gone all night. I'm gonna kill you right now, gone asterisk he's a fucker." Kushina said loudly, shouting and swearing at her husband. Minato only answered her somehow with pain in his voice while scratching his head from the frying pan. "I was at the council of the heads of clans and elders, and also gave our son to the orphanage." Minato said. Disappointed, Kushina began to rejoice even more that she got rid of Naruto, because of him Kubi broke out, and for Kushina Naruto is only a demon and nothing more. And so Kushina began to cackle, "That's good, that's what the demon needs, let him live like a homeless man in the trash, he's garbage and not our son with you Minato." Kushina shouted loudly, and so Minato was a little angry outwardly and strongly inside and said in a calm tone, "I'm going to get some sleep, my love, and I agree with you, my love." Minato said the last words more quietly, and cursed her in his mind. Kushina just nodded and Minato went to bed, and Kushina followed everything as always, while very much rejoicing that there would be no demon in their family and they would grow a decent Hokage family. Naruto's room was quiet. Hiruzen put Naruto to sleep with the help of a raven who arrived on the orders of the fourth along with Kakashi. ANBU in the raven mask was Itachi-chan. She now had to take care of Naruto every day that she didn't mind. Itachi was only 10 years old and she entered the ANBU a month ago as an assistant captain of the ANBU, namely Kakashi was the captain of the ANBU and his team was called the Ro team, and so when Naruto fell asleep, Hiruzen was talking to Itachi about Naruto's schedule with Kakashi so as not to be lazy, and Kakashi continued to read his book, Ika Ika, while he was waiting for a new volume of this book. And he listened to Hokage in half a voice and scratching the bump that Hiruzen put because he was his didn't listen, author's opinion. "If you want, then in the future I will do by Gaara-chan and Naruto, Itachi-chan and Gaara-chan with Naruto. In extreme cases, it will be with Kakashi Hatake, I think so, but write your ideas, and also wait for new parts." The end of the author's story. And now 3 years have passed, but almost nothing has changed during this time, but everything is still ahead for our main character. And so I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning because grandfather Hiruzen told me to wake up early, then in general when I'm a teenager that I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I wanted to become strong, why of course, but I don't know that yet, and here I am 3 years old. And let's run a little over me. My eyes are pure diamond color with a scar on my left eye that emphasized my elegance, so said all the girls of Anbuschnitze, sharp facial features, 3 stripes on each cheek, sharp teeth and fangs, white hair with red stripes and for some reason if they grow long themselves, and the most important thing is that the hairstyle is like Madara's Uchiha, but I like this Uchiha. He followed his own path and apparently the village did something to him since he tried to destroy it. That I was dressed in black shinobi sandals, black shinobi pants, and had bandages on my right leg, a black turtleneck, a chain hung around my neck with Kanzi diamond and a ring with Kanzi diamond, as my grandfather told me that I had some kind of genome, but I missed it then. I was thin. I was also wearing long black gloves with finger cutouts and diamond inserts on my knuckles. They appeared by themselves, and everyone was just surprised. And the worst thing that happened to me was my left pierced ear, and there also appeared a diamond surga with Kanzi diamond. That's how I look at my 3 years. My memories are when I had surga Itachi for beauty while I was sleeping. She braided pigtails and I walked around the ANBU headquarters all day without noticing it and they didn't tell me what happened, but only laughed to death when they saw me, and Kakashi generally thought that I was a girl and began to roll up despite the fact that I was small, even though he thought I was a Tion. Then it really pissed me off and I went to my room and looked at the mirror, and I saw a surprise, namely pigtails, and I guessed who made them, and Itachi decided to dump on a mission. Then she did it perfectly. I then ran after her for a whole week until I stopped, because I couldn't catch up with her, but it was at the age of 2, and yes, I learned to walk it the first time. The old man taught me this at the age of 2. My first word was U**bu, because some Bushnik couldn't contain his emotions and got angry at his jokester. That ANBU got a lot when I said this word, and they told me to forget this word because it wasn't good, but I didn't see that ANBU anymore. Oh yes, right, I was taught when I was 2.5 years old. I was taught by Hiruzen and Kakashi, and Itachi only took care of me. The end of my memories, and when I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning, after the memories it was already 7:30 and I went to take water treatments. I took my standard clothes and went under a cold shower to cheer up and brush my teeth, and special attention to the fangs. I took great care of them and my teeth were from the outside as usual. But inside, the doctor then checked the diamonds for me that he was eating and wanted to take the tooth to a quiet one, but he couldn't even scratch it, not to mention that no one saw him after this dirty trick. I had a diamond skeleton because I started to feel it all completely at the age of 3, but I don't attach any importance to it, but I'm just happy about it because I'm special. And now I had already washed and went to the VIP place in the ANBU dining room. Only the third Hokage and I were sitting in that place. Everyone was glad that I had risen morally and was a genius and I was worthy of respect. And so I came to the dining room and went to my VIP place with the old man to have breakfast. I sat down on a chair and started the meal. Before that, of course, I greeted the old man with a joyful voice. Hello, old man. What books do I still need to read? Otherwise I have already read the ones you gave me, and I ask you to give me access to the library. We also have 3 levels in the secret archive. The first is the library where all the books about shinobi and chakra were, as well as other things, except for ordinary books. There is a second tier, this is the archive itself, where data about each person is stored. And a third one where there are many techniques, but they belong to the class of prohibited ones. I reasoned. So that the old man dropped the phone after that and looked at me dumbfounded. The old man thought about it and picked up the phone and started to go bald and smoke like a locomotive and at the same time ate, so only he could, and Kakashi could make an eye smile that amazed me. The old man started talking. Yes, Naruto is right. I will give you access to the library while you are small. You will only study the library, but later I will give you access to the archive when you know all the books from UST. The old man did not ask how I found out this, but was glad that I already know so much and output symbols, even if they are not very beautiful, but you can read them. The old man reasoned the third, and saying all this in a calm and joyful tone. Hiruzen then persuaded Minato for a long time to make me the grandson of the third Hokage, even if not native, but Minato agreed after a couple of dozen arguments, although one would be enough. And when I had eaten, I went to read books until the evening, but before that my grandfather himself took me there and said that this person could visit the library, and I began to read all the books in turn. It was good that everything was laid out perfectly and was clean in the library of the ANBU headquarters. And so in the evening I read 10 books. They were small, but I read them and went to dinner. I didn't have lunch because I was training my endurance and wanted to eat less, so that if I was captured, I could safely starve for a long time. And again, the same thing, I went to the dining room and started talking to Grandpa. He asked me what books I had read and was proud of me, and said that from the age of 4 I would train physically, and we hadn't talked much yet, and I went to bed, and Itachi went to read me a fairy tale in a place with me. Time skipped 1 year and now another year has passed and I have read all the books that were there. I was a bookworm, and from today I will be allowed access to the archive, and by this I will be trained in my style that I will come up with the help of a third grandfather who will point out my mistakes and how to fix this or that. And so I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and went to take water treatments and brush my teeth. I didn't change a drop, I just grew up, and my clothes became bigger. And when I finished my business, a turd had already come for me and was waiting for me. A turd began to speak in a calm and gloating tone that I wasn't scared much since I was still small. Naruto, you will now go to the third, and after him go to the ANBU training ground, which is located underground, and we will begin your first training. Kakashi said smiling, but his smile was not visible under the black mask, and so I realized that this Cyclops would take revenge on me in training because I then dyed his hair pink. That my memories are past the fact that I dyed Kakashi's hair pink. I wrote on Kakashi's forehead that he was a great hidden leaf faggot, and when he woke up, he didn't notice anything, but just got dressed and went to collect his team for the mission. But when someone passed by him, they almost died with laughter, and Kakashi could not understand what the reason was and went on, and the ANBU were all lying on the floor and laughing as best they could. And so the white-haired man came into the office with his team, namely Kakashi was walking, and they were laughing and they were lying on the floor, and the Cyclops was dragging them by the leg. And when Kakashi knocked on the office, an old man's voice was heard. "Come in," said the old man, and Kakashi went into the office of the third. Hiruzen smiled and said, "Kakashi," with a sneer, "here's the mission, you can take it and do it, and I also didn't know that you were a homo." Hiruzen said the last words with disgust. Kakashi got angry and took the mission, and so he walked for a long time, namely until the end of the mission, and then when he washed from what he saw and understood the reason why everyone laughed at him, and he promised to remember me. The end of my memories, and so I go into the office of the third Hokage, and Hiruzen began to conduct a bazaar. "Naruto, do you want to become strong?" the old man said, looking at him attentively. I answered only calmly, "The old man is responsible for the bazaar, and I will become strong to protect myself and the people dear to me," said Naruto, reasoning, and did not notice that he said something superfluous. Hiruzen choked on his pipe, and the ANBU who guarded him only giggled, and the head of the Sarutobi clan said gloatingly, "Naruto-kun, my granddaughter, now you will answer the bazaar. You will train now until you lose your pulse for a year." Hiruzen said, and the ANBU just shuddered and already buried the kid, and I just got ready to speak. "Old man, I agree. And let's just say that if I train for 1 year and do not shirk from training for a day, then you will fulfill my wish, namely, for a whole month Hatake Kakashi will walk in a maid costume," I said, laughing at the top of my voice, and the ANBU just really wanted to see it, and one of them said, namely a rat, "Yes, yes, we agree." ANBU said, and his teammates supported him in this, as they couldn't wait to see Kakashi like this for a whole month. Kakashi stood near the aisle and listened to the fact that he should not have been involved in this at all, and here it is. Hiruzen, seeing Kakashi, smiled and said with a sneer, "Well, Naruto, but if you lose, then you will start writing the same books as Jiraiya, and excuse Kakashi, a dispute is a dispute." Hiruzen said while smoking his pipe, and Kakashi added his own word, "If you lose, Naruto, then you will sell me all the books for free, understand?" Kakashi said, already imagining it, and Naruto answered, "Okay, I agree, when to start?" I asked with interest, and Hiruzen answered, "Start right now, you will be trained only by Kakashi and me, since you have had enough of us," said the old man, scratching his goatee, and so I nodded, and Kakashi and I went to train in the ANBU underground training ground. When we arrived, Kakashi started with me awakening the chakra hearth. "Naruto, you have to awaken the center of the chakra. For this you have to sit in the lotus position and meditate until you feel a light or warmth in your stomach," Kakashi said in an instructive tone. That I thought for a while and answered, "Okay, Kakashi-sensei," I said calmly and ready for anything, and when I started meditating, an hour passed and I found myself somewhere in the sewer, and there was a very strong smell of bad smell. I went to the end of the maze and went into a large room and saw a cage. I started to approach her as someone there growled strongly and spoke in a demonic voice that I almost shit myself. "Sapliak, what are you doing here? Come here, I'll give you strength in exchange for your flesh. Come here, little one, jailer of the women," he said behind the cage in a demonic and evil voice, and I got angry, and so I got angry with the words of that race and ran into the cage. And the fox did not have time to do anything as I kicked him and did not consciously make a climate for myself in the subconscious. Namely, everything was made of diamond sand. I really liked it and I changed my mind about kicking the fox, but just started getting to know him fun. Hello Lee-sama, let's be friends, you will be my first friend. I said that he *8 and only answered, alright, Almaznik, I'll be friends with you and come on, I'm called Kurama, and I'm the great nine-tailed demon Kurama. And you are also a child of prophecy. We were told by the tailed father that a man will appear that will either save or destroy this planet. The fox spoke judiciously and rejoiced that he was sealed in the child of prophecy, but did not show it, but only grinned with a satisfied smile that I was delighted and went to hug Kurama, and Kurama was not bad to be in the Diamond Kingdom, namely 1 diamond sand. There was an infinite amount of it, but I made Kurama a separate half, namely a large forest and a lake, as well as high mountains, and I feel good with diamonds. And when I was already squeezing the chicken, he just said, thanks Naruto, it's even better than diamonds for me, that territory is now yours, and this is mine. Kurama said, and I just nodded, and so I saw the seal and easily tore it off with the help of diamond sand, and Kurama did not have time to say anything as Naruto absorbed his chakra. And the fox started playing a 5-minute hurdy-gurdy, and then I added, Kurama, don't get mad, I'm alive, I said judiciously, and began to say goodbye to the fox. He told me that I could communicate with him mentally and was glad of it, and so my training began. Author's opinion. Well, how do you like it? The end of the author's story. And so Naruto, after a brutal workout with Kakashi, went to his room. Kakashi chased him to find out how many times Naruto would run and make an exercise schedule. Kakashi calculated everything, and I already went to dinner and took water treatments, as well as took care of my teeth. I really liked them like my claws. I didn't think that my appearance was any different. For me it's a charm. So I go to my room and open the door, undress, and go to bed while talking to Kurama. Kakashi stayed to write my training schedule, and in the end it turned out 10 laps around the polygon, 15 pull-ups, 40 push-ups, 80 times of exercises on the press, still come up with a style of taijutsu, train bokujutsu, do calligraphy, and the symbols for studying fuinjutsu were not needed, but only to practice and display perfect symbols and develop a focus of chakra, develop strategist skills. Author's opinion. Sorry if I forgot to write something, come up with it yourself in your thoughts. What exercise I missed and how many times he did it. The end of the author's POF. And all this until the age of 6, but continue to develop further, then study techniques when Naruto's body gets stronger. Kakashi thought, and writing everything down in a notebook. And so I wake up early in the morning. Itachi was standing by my bed and waiting for me to wake up, and so she spoke, oh Naruto, Kakashi is calling you to train. Another Naruto-kun, can I please braid your pigtails? Itachi asked with a pleading voice and a look that I already had. I already got up and sat on the bed in my underpants. Who cares if they were black boxers with diamonds? And so I decided to say, okay. I said, startled. Itachi giggled and came up to me and started braiding pigtails, but she did her hair like Madara's, but adding pigtails. And I suddenly said, Itachi, can we go already? I was embarrassed that she was pressing her bust against my back. I somehow restrained the morning boner, and then this. Itachi understood everything and admired the fact that I could restrain myself and laughed a little at it, and I just wondered what was going on. And so I got up and without turning to Itachi, I went to do water treatments and brush my teeth and get a manicure, but I'd rather ask Itachi, and that's how I stood with my back. So I got a boner, at 4 years old, 8 centimeters, small and removed, as they say. And I quickly took the clothes that were on the floor and went to wash and do other things. Here I am already going to the old man's for breakfast. Itachi caught up with me and went with me. And here we go, and everyone giggled a little, but there was something. The nails were diamond colored and painted like a little girl. I asked Itachi to do it, and she just laughed very sweetly and painted my nails. And so we came first to the old man because Kakashi would wait, and I started having dinner with the third. Itachi went to her friends. The third started a conversation. Well, Naruto, is he still alive? A third asked with mockery in his voice. I just frowned and answered, no, I will not lose, and I will become a shinobi god, the same as Uchiha Madara. I shouted, And everyone was afraid of this name and was surprised. The old man who understands all this nodded and he added, "Okay Naruto, then we'll make you a shinobi god, not Captain Anbu." Kakashi, Hiruzen said, proud of such a goal and zeal to become a shinobi god. Hiruzen knew that Naruto would never betray Konoha. He felt it with his sixth sense, and Hiruzen also shouted to the turd to come. As well as the sixth sense never failed the former Hokage of the village hidden in the foliage. Kakashi arrived and got down on one knee and asked a question before saying, "Yes, Hiruzen-sama." "Called?" Kakashi asked, and he was wearing a dog mask. The old man thought about it and said, "Make Naruto a shinobi god, add 3 times more exercises and 3 sets every day." Anbu in a dog mask replied in a steely voice, "There is Hiruzen-sama. Let me start training him." Kakashi said, and Hiruzen, who was smoking a pipe, nodded. Kakashi said, "Send Naruto to the underground training ground. We will train for a long time, but practical." Kakashi said the last words a little louder, laughing a little. Hiruzen got a little angry and replied, "I'm serious. Your term is up to 25 years or 3 skins, and I will forbid you to read Jiraiya's books," said the third menacingly. And Kakashi only answered, "Yes, Hiruzen herself, I will train him to a drop of sweat." Kakashi said he was afraid for his skin and the sacred books that were for Kakashi, and I was laughing, but Kakashi looked at me and I fell silent. Kakashi went out the door, and I followed him because he waved his hand, and I followed him like an obedient boy. And while we were walking, something happened that no one expected this. Namely, one Anbu wanted to fall on me and kill me because he believed that I was useless and the scum of society, and yet the fact that I allegedly killed his parents. All these words were heard from his mouth. Kakashi wanted to save me already, but that Anbu was experienced and rushed with a direct hit from Tonto to the heart, and out of nowhere, Diamond Sand jumped out and blocked the blow. The sand was diamond, and he was very scared. Tonto shattered, and I felt that I could easily control it and stretched my hand forward, and imagining before that, a sharp spear and a diamond spear with lightning speed was in his heart. And there was a huge hole in his heart, and finally he said, "Ha, the demon killed me." "It's funny, but demons are very strong in anger," he said in a mortal voice, and fell dead. Anbu Hokage saw me as my hands were shaking and understood him, because to kill the first person at the age of 4 puts pressure on psychological trauma. As Kakashi wanted to say something, I suddenly answered only when I came up and said in Kakashi's ear, "Kakashi-sensei, I'm scared, not because I killed, I don't feel anything." I said in a trembling voice. Kakashi thought for a while and answered happily, "Don't worry Naruto, this will be a bonus for you in the life of a shinobi, because you won't go crazy and you won't chop right and left everyone you come across. The main thing is to use it correctly, and I also think you will not then feel that you are living, since you cannot feel pain, you have to get used to it," Kakashi said instructively, but no one understood what they were talking about, but only those said, "This is the shinobi world, this world is cruel, but don't worry, he deserved it," said Anbu. Hiruzen's Anbu were very strong, but no one knew what the secret was, and the secret was that you need to take care of your team and protect your teammates. And then the third one arrived and saw what had happened and quickly approached me and hugged me saying, "Don't worry, Naruto, I will mobilize so that this doesn't happen anymore," said the third, patting me on the head. I just nodded and we went on with Kakashi. Kakashi decided to voice the problems to the third later. And so we went to train, and I trained and managed to do the necessary number of approaches before the evening to become a shinobi god, and so at the end of the day I went squeezed out like a lemon to grandpa's for dinner, and when Itachi saw what state I was in, she picked me up and carried me to the dining room with me. I was on her back and accidentally grabbed her breasts and squeezed them while holding on to her. Fortunately that there was no one in the hallway, POF Itachi, and so I saw Naruto walking 8-8 and picked up Naruto and I put him on my back. He grabbed me and apparently accidentally took me by the breasts and I somehow restrained a groan, although it escaped a little. Fortunately that there is no one, it is necessary to remove him from the back. The end of POF Itachi. And so Itachi let me down from the back and picked me up again while I was already pressed against my back, but my arms were wrapped around my neck. And so we came to the dining room, and then I went myself and approached the old man, and sitting down to him, I greeted him talking about today. The third did not lag behind and also started a conversation. Naruto, you have to restrain emotions, this is important, and be able to read them too, since you read all the books so quickly, even I do not know how, then you have to do it in practice, okay? Hiruzen spoke and asked, rejoicing for the success of the white-haired one, and I only answered, yes, Grandpa, I think this is a very important thing, because even by emotions you can determine a little the outcome of the fight. I reasoned logically while sitting thoughtfully. The old man only added, well done Naruto, you're right, I'm proud of you, go to bed and run, but before that eat, said Grandpa, and I said in response to him, good grandfather, itadakimasu, I said happily, and we started the meal. At that time, the Hokage family looked good, but only Minato knew that he hated Kushina, because she raised proud children, and the old man reported that Naruto was very smart and did not tell everyone Anbu that he would be cool, and my son, he knew, but I told the third that I would go to Naruto on my 8th birthday, I will see my son for the first time, and Naruto will see me. I would like to throw Kushina, but knowing her, I realized that Hiruzen was right, that she could lower my authority, as I leave my wife with 2 children, but then I will introduce my own son Naruto to the whole Konoha and throw Kushina. I still need to take DNA from everyone to check the paternity test, and it was Naruto, Menma and Naruko, because apart from Naruto, I did not feel kinship. And now in the headquarters of the Anbu, the third one asked me before I wanted to go to bed, Naruto, can you give a long hair and saliva? I will ask you not to ask unnecessary questions, as it has been saying for a long time, but in Croatia your father wants to do a paternity test. The old man said calmly, and I just nodded, and without thinking, I tore off one long hair, which any girl would almost envy because I have very long hair. The hair was also very beautiful and fascinating, especially when it would be in the wind. I probably just don't know how from the outside, the girls from Anbu told me so, but the old man didn't hide anything from me and told me everything. I understand that he worries about me, and I was glad of it. I don't mind sitting in the headquarters of the Anbu, it's also cozy for me and it's great to train, and everyone here is my own people. And so I gave the hair, and the old man gave the jar and told me to spit in the jar. I did it, and the old man went somewhere with the jar and the hair, while quickly sealing it all in a scroll, and I went to take water treatments, and then to work with fangs and nails. And when I had already done everything except the nails, Itachi came and asked, Naruto, I think you need help with nails and hair? Itachi asked me affectionately. I just looked at her dumbfounded and said only, yes, but with the hair I thought in the morning, I told her cautiously, and she just nodded and answered, yes, you're right, but let's get a manicure. Itachi said in a mesmerizing voice. I just nodded, and in the end I already fell asleep, and Itachi put me on the bed and left herself, looking at me with a beautiful look, and closed the door, and she also went to bed. Time skip is 2 years old, and now 2 years have passed. Now I do all these exercises 5 sets a day, namely, I run 50 times around the training ground, pull up 50 times, push-ups 100 times, squats I do 120 times, abs exercises I do 150 times, and train my taijutsu style. My style will be perfect because in the future I will add a fire chakra to instantly kill the enemy by incinerating his organs. I wanted to, but I came up with a better idea. Namely, since I have diamond sand, I can make an aura out of sand around me, and it is very small and sharp. When striking at that place, there will be a bloody mess, and I'm already getting it. My style has been refined by 60%, and this style is also for fast, accurate strikes at deadly points. I put blocks on reactions, and all this goes well together. I really like kenjutsu, and my weapons are huge diamond sickles. According to the author, these sickles are big like cons from the movie Defenders. The end of the author's story. They are able to cut even the strongest metal like clockwork. I add the element of wind to my style of kenjutsu, which contributes to very strong strength and brings huge damage to the enemy. although I did not study the elements, but I had the wind and I learned to carry it through weapons. My level of taijutsu is elite jonin because of inexperience and it is not yet finalized. Kenjutsu is an elite jonin. Genjutsu is no level, the ability not to get into genjutsu because of my eyes, they are diamond and the enemy will drive himself into genjutsu, even the eyes of God will not help. Physical training is an elite jonin. I have zero techniques, no experience, I can fight one-on-one only because of lack of experience, but the sand will protect me so I can fight against the army because of this sand. They tried to punch it, but there was not even a scratch on it. But to maintain the sand you need a strong physical preparation and sand does not require almost a chakra, and protection does not require it at all, as well as our patron from the stories of Hiruzen, I learned that. This is the god of speed, and his name is Hirashin. Bukijutsu level I have 5 out of 10 Simbans, shurikens and kunai, but I throw them at the same time as itachi, and so 10 out of 10. The level of my beauty is infinite out of 10, I have such a coolness to my enemies, I don't feel anything when I kill them, it fascinates me and I don't feel that I live, because I had another layer on me and it's diamond. I began to kill often in the torture chamber, the old man allowed me there the third, he resigned himself with this because he understood that I don't feel what I am and believes that this is a workout. I have changed so that I have not changed as a handsome man as usual. On my birthday, they gave me money mostly in clothes, since I had everything, I saved them for the future, and here I am 6 years old and today is the continuation of my training and I unfortunately could not get up once due to fatigue and overslept. Now meet pervert number 2, namely Naruto from the Namikaze clan. I then postponed the choice of a surname and chose Namikaze at 5 years old. I have not yet seen my father, but I am waiting. I can't wait. Author's opinion. Please don't throw slippers. I think there's a time skip of 2 years, so Naruto is 6 years old, and Itachi is 16 years old, let them have a difference of 10 years, Itachi and Gaara will be together with Naruto. The end of the author's story. And that's how I usually do all my business, water procedures, flirting with Itachi for fun, recently started by the way, everything is monotonous and today I will ask Hiruzen to go to the outside world. And so I go to have breakfast in the dining room with Itachi and Kakashi, they went to their girlfriends and friends, I went to the old man. And so I sat down. Hello old man. Let me go outside, I want to go for a walk, please. I said in a pleading tone okay, you can practice collecting materials, Kakashi will go with you, he will keep an eye on you, okay Naruto? The old man said calmly. Okay, grandpa. I didn't plan to become a pervert, I said pouting and began to look like a mad handsome man in general, even the girls of ANBU seeing me just melted. Don't sulk, you're not a pervert, but a collector of materials, said the old man grinning with pride looking at me. All right, old man, I said imagining how I was running away from angry women. Well, that's good, I see you've already eaten, go ahead, only if Itachi finds out he'll skin us, be careful. The old man said excitedly. And I have nothing to do with it, it will be lowered from you. I said with a grin. No, you're wrong, you agreed because you lost in the dispute, so you'll get it too, you didn't refuse, but agreed. Hiruzen laughed a little. I said in a strained voice. Naruto, come on, it's time for us to get the material, Kakashi said proudly and with an eye smiled. Come on. I said already with reluctance. But I was wondering what was going on from the outside and so we leave the shelter, but Itachi stops us. Where are you going? And why didn't they warn me? Itachi puffed out her cheeks, and looking at Kakashi with a menacing look. Itachi-chan, you are very beautiful today, but we have to go for a walk, besides Kakasha will look after me. I said in a pleading tone and laughing at the last words. Okay Naruto, but if anything happens to you, Kakashi will be castrated. Itachi said, blushing at Naruto's compliment. Good Itachi and bye. We'll be there tonight. I shouted outside the ANBU headquarters. Kakashi kept up with Naruto and was afraid for his balls, besides, I had to remember Naruto because he was distorting my name, and so we approached the gate of the village and I saw 2 guards. We had already approached and wanted to pass as. Stop. Who's coming? Asked Katetsu. It's me and Naruto, my little brother. Kakashi said calmly. Nice to meet you. I said for fun in a cold tone that those shuddered and let us through while wishing us good luck. According to the author, Naruto became Kakashi's brother at the age of 5, Hokage was only 4. The end of the author's story. And now we have already passed the gate and are walking along the main street. Today was the day over the victory of the 9-tailed demon fox, for someone a holiday in grief, for someone only grief that they were going to drink in the evening, and the eateries will get a lot of money because of the booze that they will sell, legally and not legally. Today is my birthday and the children of Hokage. As it turned out, the old man told me that my mother was still that whore. And he said this when he read to the end about what was written in the Hokage's note, namely. A note. I received the test data on the paternity test. I am very glad that Naruto is my own son. He has pure Namake's blood in him. I read in the scrolls that the strong Biju genes are left, and they destroy the weak ones, and now Naruto has pure genes like mine. We are pure Namakes with Naruto. I am very glad, and I am grateful to the fox for this. Besides, Naruto is very similar to me, except for the hair color. Apparently this is also the consequences of Kubi, but his hair color is like that of the head of the clan. Apparently Naruto is the heir of the head of the Namake's clan. I am very happy about this, but in Menma and Naruto my genes are only 10%, and the rest of the Uzumaki clan and many others. Apparently my wife is a slut. I will announce everything to the village about my son at the age of 7, and I will not touch Kushina if she leaves me alone and voluntarily divorces. At least I will kill everyone with whom she fucked and herself, while I will show all the villages, and I will give those children to an orphanage and forget about them. I will not kill them, but for their pride, behavior, and many terrible things that they do, I will give them to an orphanage and let them suffer. The signature is Namake's Minato, the shadow of the 4th Hokage of the village hidden in the foliage. End of the note. According to the author, Minato is the son of the head of the Namake's clan. The Namake's clan occupies the first place among the clans. Naruto belongs to the main family of the clan. There are no side branches of the clan. Everyone is friendly and equal to each other. The head of the clan is chosen only by their patron god Hiraition. The head of the clan is treated honorably when he is the head of the clan, and so on equal terms, since the second head of the clan, Hirono Namakes, does not like formalities. Everyone was happy about it. The clan moved to Konoha when Naruto was 3 years old. They treat their enemies in cold blood. The end of the author's story. And so we went to the residence and I was thinking about all this and was glad about it, and today I will see my father. I really want my mother, and therefore I hope that my father will find a worthy wife of my father, and I will personally check it out. And while we were walking, all the girls flowed at the sight of me. I was in shock, and while I was walking, one girl almost jumped on me as Kakashi pushed her aside. Nizan, you could not touch her, my genome would protect me. Only the head of the Namake's clan has it, and the head of the Namake's clan currently has this genome. The first head of the Namake's clan also had this genome. I said in my usual tone. Well, how can I tell you? Don't scare the residents, right? Said Kakashi with an eye smiled. Nissen, let's go buy me a mask then, maybe it will help. I said with a grin. You can try, but it's unlikely to help. Kakashi said judiciously. Yes, it will help. I said insistently with a grin. The girls at the sight of me and this grin just wanted to squeeze how Kakashi touched me, and we disappeared in Shunshin to a store with masks and other clothes. The girls were upset when I disappeared, and I breathed a sigh of relief. Naruto, this store is one of the best clothing stores. There is a huge selection and everything is expensive, but everything is reliable. Kakashi's brother said. Wow, I'm going to choose a mask for myself. I said happily, and so I was looking for masks and found what attracted me, namely a mask on the floor of the face of white color. I took it and put it on. The mask was covered with diamond patterns, and there was a kind of smile. it became very beautiful, and my hair on my eyes became the place of red stripes, they became diamond stripes. As a result, I went to the checkout. Hello, I'm Naruto Namikaze, the future head of the Namikaze clan. I'm sorry that I introduced myself like this, but this is for decency. Please give me this mask that I have on my face. It was white at first and I put it on and it became like this. I can still pay with diamond sand. I told the seller, and he listened to everything I said and was interested in it. Hello, young man, well, I don't mind, you have 1 grain of diamond, if it really is, well. My name is Tajira, I'm an ordinary merchant of an elite clothing store. Tajira said in an interested tone, nice to meet you, I'll give you 1 kilogram of this sand for your kindness, this is my genome, so don't worry. I told him in a slightly joyful tone, while I poured sand on his scales. He stared with dumbfounded eyes. Thank you very much, now it's enough for me to pay 1 debt and cure my daughter and wife. He thanked me. It's not worth it, it's for your kindness in such a cruel world. I said to Tom that he thanked me again and said that I would always be welcome here. Kakashi was glad that I communicate well with people and do not lose my essence. And he called me and we went. And when I left the store, I saw some people and I was very interested in what kind of people they were. Let's go from here. Kakashi said in a tense and hateful tone and did not require any objections. I was surprised, because he is rarely so wary. No, let's move on, I will always protect you, little brother, no matter what, I will even sacrifice myself for the sake of my loved ones. I said to Kakashi, and he just hugged me with 1 hand and we went straight to the residence. And so, according to the author, my favorite word, and here is PHPHPHPH. The end of the author's story. Kakashi and I went on, and while we were walking, everyone kept looking at us, even Kakashi started. I was shocked, we seem to be ordinary people, and here, Nizan, it's not easy for me to go under these views. I said, puffing out my cheeks, although it was not visible under the mask, but the girls noticed a little. I don't know Naruto, but we'd better go faster. Said Kakayane judiciously and ready to slip away. Come on. I said the same as my brother, and so we go and start passing some family without greeting them. Hey! I am the son of Hokage. Quickly kneel down with your boyfriend or I'll tell my father everything. You'll know how not to greet the Hokage family. Menma yelled at the top of his voice like a rooster. Don't yell, Menma. I'm sorry about my son. Kushina said and gave Tom a slap on the back of the head. Well, ma'am. This is not respect for the Hokage family, said that rooster. Kakashi apparently wanted to say something, but I interrupted. I don't care whose family you are, respect should be for every resident, and you mean a little N who screams like a rooster. I said in a reasonable tone of voice. Naruto, now we have problems. Said the Cyclops. Yes, I don't care, more than 1 person can't even scratch me. I said proudly. Yes, yes, and forgot about me, said Kaka in an offended tone. Yes, all right, I'll share 1 kilogram of sand, that's enough for you. I said with a sneer. Cheapskate. Poop said in the same manner. Mom, I like that boy, I demand that he be my husband. Kushina's daughter said. Well, how much does your boy cost? I can buy him. Kushina said, because she also liked that boy. Kakashi got very angry and it was the last straw, but I intervened. What are you planning to trade me for? I'm actually a person. And not the cattle that are being sold. I said already with hatred, and behind me, I released a huge wave of diamond sand, and a diamond sand dragon appeared over Konoha 100 by 50 meters. Get out of my sight before I kill you. I said very angry and did not restrain myself. How dare you, yelled Habanera. Yes, brat. And why are you prettier than me? Menma shouted. He will be my husband, said the girl. A lot of people gathered to see it and were shocked that a boy could. People whispered that the handsome men would die or capture that poor boy, and the older one would probably be executed for it. Residents spoke, but did not dare to object or they would be killed. Minato appeared in yellow lightning. "What's going on here?" shouted Minato in a harsh and angry tone, and while everyone was silent, tears began to flow, like Minato's. I ran to him and hugged him. "Father." I whispered in Tom's ear. Some heard and were shocked and thought that he was cheating on Kushina. "Attention everyone, this is my son Naruto Namikaze, he is the next head of the Namikaze clan. I lost him when he was born, namely, the village was attacked then and we could not find him." Minato said loudly and making up a story. People began to rejoice that Hokage had found his son, but they were also afraid that Naruto would become like Menma. I wiped away my tears. "Hello everyone, I'm Naruto Namikaze, and don't worry, I can see your emotions well, I'm not such trash as those three," I said with a cheerful tone in my voice. The residents were delighted and rushed. "Hooray for the new heir of the Hokage, hooray, our village will not bend when the Hokage retires, we hope for you," people said in a joyful tone. Hokage smiled. "I trust him most of all, he is not proud and ready to protect the village, I know that. I apologize for those three people, today I declare a holiday in honor of this," Hokage said proudly for his son. Minato looked menacingly at Kushina and those two. Kushina thought that they were waiting for a serious conversation, but she immediately refused this soap as she would just beat Minato with a chakrapravad frying pan as usual. "Dad, I'll stay with Grandpa for now, okay? I know everything father, he didn't hide anything from me." Minato's son said. "Okay son." "Kakashi, how are you doing?" asked Hokage. "Okay, we were just going to your office." Kakashi was saying. "Okay, I'll wait for you, and I'll talk to my wife, you can go." Minato spoke with anger at the last words. All this was seen by the villagers and rejoiced that today was a good day and put those in their place. Only the villagers were there. Minato teleported his non-family home. "Kushina. We're breaking up. I know everything. You can keep the house for yourself and the children, too, only you have to sign the documents. Sign it or everyone will find out what secret you keep." Minato said loudly. The children heard everything and cried. "How did you know? You brute. I'm the one who's leaving you, and fuck you to this demon. Get lost and here's your signature." Kushina signed on paper. "That's good, now you're nobody to me, and I forbid using my name or everyone will find out everything," said Minato seriously. "Okay, but go away," Kushina said, crying, and Minato disappeared, and all the necessary documents were signed. Minato appeared in his place and smiled. "Hello again, son. How have you been doing all these years without me?" asked Hokage curiously. "Everything is fine, Dad. Kakashi's brother, Itachi-chan, Grandpa Hiruzen and many others took care of me. I said everything that happened to me, and Kakashi added what I didn't want to say." Hokage chuckled, and Kakashi continued to say a lot more. It was already 5 o'clock in the evening and Hokage invited us to visit the Uchiha family for Sasuke's birthday. I agreed and the three of us went, and so we walked along Konoha and everything just flowed in one word from us, because the news that Kushina and Minato divorced went all over Konoha and were very happy about it, because they didn't let everyone live in peace, they could also kill in the alley and they couldn't say anything, and now they don't care about the residents on those three guys. The most beautiful in the village went to the Uchiha family. We have already approached the gates of the Uchiha clan and passed on, as we knew that the Hokage would come to visit, but they did not know those two, but they did not say anything since they were walking with the Hokage, and here we are approaching the house of the head of the Uchiha as someone accidentally fired a fireball during training and it flew straight at me. I didn't pay attention, but Kakashi stopped Minato. "No need sensei, look better," Kakashi said. And so they kept going, and Minato was ready, and the ball crashed into me. He just evaporated this ball from the fire, and there was a piece of diamond sand in front of me that protected me. Hokage made sure once again that I am the future head of the Namikaze clan. That man was running at us and wanted to check. "Are you all right?" "Excuse me, I was just practicing," Uchiha replied. it's not a big deal I said, and we went on, and the Hokage started knocking on the door. A beautiful girl, Uchiha Mikoto, came out and let us through. Hi boys, come on in, you're such a cute boy, what's your name? Mikoto asked curiously. My name is Naruto Namikaze, and this is my brother Kakashi, and this is my father. I said calmly and embarrassed by Mikoto's compliment. He, go wash your hands, and you Naruto come with me, I'll take you to the nursery at the same time. Mikoto laughed sweetly into her fist, and I nodded, and Mikoto and I went into the kitchen and I washed my hands. There was no one at home yet, except for the children. The adults were in Fugaku's office and talked about personal things, even the author does not know what. Mikoto took me to the nursery and I went through, and saw a chair and sat on it, looking at how they look at me. Aren't you going to play Naruto? Mikoto asked. I don't know how to play, I don't even know what it is, I've been training since I was young. I said calmly. You Naruto, don't you want to learn how to play? Fugaku's wife asked the question. No thanks, I won't need it, but I can help you with cooking. I said confidently. All right, Naruto-kun, Mikoto said, and we went under the surprised looks of the children. And who are you? Asked Sasuke. I am Naruto Namikaze, the son of Minato Namikaze, also the heir of the head of the Namikaze clan. I said quietly with reluctance. Wow, it's clear, and I'm Sasuke Uchiha, the son of the head of the Uchiha clan, as well as the heir of the head of the Uchiha clan. Sasuke said loudly. I thought, he's not as proud as Menma. Are you friends with Menma? I asked curiously. Mikoto led me. I'll tell Sasuke myself, so sit down, then talk. Mikoto said. Okay, mom. Sasuke replied. All the girls almost attacked me. We left in time with Sasuke's mom, and so I went with Mikoto to the kitchen, and she started to finish cooking. And so Mikoto started cooking, and I sat down. Naruto, Kushina and I were friends only in childhood, and then everything changed, and Sasuke was friends with Menma because of the benefits, and we are glad that Menma is nobody now. Mikoto continued to talk more, telling the story. Do you understand Naruto now? Mikoto asked. Yes, everything is clear to me now, I am happy for you. I said and asked again. Can I still help you cook? I asked, shifting the topic of conversation. Mikoto didn't have time to say anything as Kakashi ran into the kitchen. No. You can't. He'll burn down the kitchen. He almost burned down the ANBU headquarters then. Kakashi shouted. Yes, then I accidentally. I said resentfully. Yeah, by chance, then Itachi flew me a pussy ****. Kakashi said angrily. Well, fuck you, I said and went to the landfill that I saw outside the window, and now I'm at the landfill. It's not very big and I started to reduce the senbons very much to a very small size. I made 100,000 senbons ultra thin that they were not even visible, and I directed them towards the forest that the Uchi had. The technique of a true hedgehog, I shouted out to the technique. Everyone was watching through the window what I was capable of, and only. Fugaku saw these needles and was shocked, and he saw with MG, not much noticed, and Shursui Uchiha with MG. Mikoto. He made more than 100,000 senbons from his apparently sand diamond genome, shouted Fugaku in shock. What? The children shouted. But there's nothing there. Kiba Inuzuka said. There's nothing there. The rest of the children said, and the adults expected something and looked at it. The senbons were flying, and when the senbons disappeared, an unexpected thing happened 10 seconds later. Everything flew into the trees and the trees were torn into splinters. I went into the house because I just wanted to let off steam and I felt bad, because I can't live without killing. And I went home and they look at me with dumbfounded eyes. Oh, sorry about the trees, my father will pay. I said with a grin in my voice. No, it's not necessary, it's okay. Fugaku said. Naruto, do you mind how the prince of the Namikaze clan marries Itachi? Added Fugaku. If she doesn't mind. I said calmly. She doesn't mind, does Itachi? said Fugaku with a smile. Mikoto screamed and was glad that Itachi was marrying such a guy. Then Naruto, do you mind if you get married at 16? Fugaku said. I'm for it. I'm going to do Spire's wheelie. I thought it, but I said it out loud. Itachi blushed terribly, as did the entire female audience, only not so much. Minato came over. Son, forgive me, but at the age of 16, according to the contract, the son of the Hokage will have to marry the daughter of the Kazekage, and this is all for a truce, namely, you will have to marry Gaara and Temari. These are the daughters of the Kazekage, said Minato dejectedly. Emma. Harem. Wow. I cried out. Yes, you are a womanizer, Naruto. Namake's clan chief Hirono said with a grin. Kiba began to be jealous that Naruto had so many pulls. Naruto Namake's, I don't mind you being with Itachi, I saw strength in you and you can protect my sister. Seisak said. Well, alright. I said fantasizing. Nissan. I may lose control of myself. I said already nervously and quickly translating the topic. Naruto, how much longer can you hold out? Kakashi asked excitedly. I think 6 hours, and then there may be. I did not finish. Okay Naruto, eat these pills. Gave Kakashi. What are these pills? I asked worriedly, swallowing them. This sedative is very strong, even stronger than an alcoholic drink. I think it will suit you. Kakashi said judiciously. Fugaku, Mikoto, Minato, Hirono and a couple of other people asked in unison. How can I tell you? Because of his sand diamond genome. I think you understand Hirono, don't you? Asked Kakashi. Yes, you're right, he doesn't feel that he lives, he often needs people to kill them, or he may go crazy. I drink a lot of sedatives and try to kill traitors or apostates, which the third one provides me with. Hirono answered Kakashi's question. And how many did you kill, Naruto? Minato asked excitedly. More than 1,000 people. I said cautiously. Kakashi only confirmed it with a nod. Everyone answered only clearly. Well, every technique has a minus, let's eat. Besides, Kakashi gave Naruto a sedative. Mikoto said, quickly changing the subject. Everyone supported her, and the children envied Naruto. And so we all ate. I was with the adults, and the children were in the nursery. And suddenly Minato offered the game a bottle. Let's play a bottle on a wish, said Minato. He left his wife. Do you want to have fun? Hirono asked menacingly. Well, whatever you want. Minato said resentfully. Everyone just laughed. Naruto, let's bet. If my Susanoo breaks through your protection, then you will get yourself a harem of 8 people? Shursui said to me in a drunken tone. Come on, I said confidently, and we went to the back range of the head of the Uchiha clan, retreat. At Sasuke's birthday there were such clans, Namake's, Hatake, Inuzuka, Nara, Yamanaka, Uzumaki and a couple of other major families from other clans. The end of the retreat, and so Shursui formed his full Susanoo and swung a humanoid fist at me, and I was standing still, and suddenly the fist crashed into something and a lot of dust rose and a crater appeared. Everyone saw a thin layer of protective sand, and Susanoo's fist shattered into splinters. Now it's my turn. I said so that Shursui sobered up and sent a lot of chakra to Susanoo to survive. I raised my hand up and tons of diamond sand flew high into the sky. The Great Diamond Dragon. Technique. The diamond dragon flew into Shursui and I stopped this dragon a centimeter from Susanoo's head and a shock wave flew, and Susanoo was crushed to the ground. This technique would kill you because of something, but these are my secrets and trump cards, besides the crunch. I said pathetically, and Susanoo Shursui shattered into pieces. Everyone stood with their mouths opened. Okay, send it back. And yes, I didn't say my condition then. It will be like this, you have to sit on the bottle to the end of the neck. I said with a grin, and everyone laughed and waited for the content while moving away from the shock. No, 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 don't. Please. Naruto. Shursui said while crying. And I, with the help of diamond sand, took a bottle of sake from the hands of Tsunade Senju and abruptly stuck the bottle into Shirsue's ass with lightning speed, and he screamed, and all the male representatives pressed their buns. And after that, Shirsue took the sake out of his ass and we went into the house, and Shirsue held his point. And now the holiday was over and everyone was out. Kakashi and I said goodbye and went home at 1 o'clock in the morning, namely to the ANBU headquarters, and when we came, I took water treatments, and did all the other things and went straight to bed and I passed out. Kakashi, when he came, he went to report everything to the third. And so Kakashi comes to the office and knocks. "Come in," said Hiruzen. Kakashi went into the office and left a piece of paper on the table with all the details that Kakashi wrote down. "Everything is here. I went to sleep, Hiruzen, myself. Everything is painted to the smallest detail in this sheet." Kakashi said wearily. "Okay, you can go," said surprisingly Kakashi calmly Hiruzen and began to read the report. After Hiruzen read the report, namely, he finished reading the report at 3 o'clock in the morning and laughed and rejoiced. In the end the old man decided not to punish those two, and besides, 3 hours ago it was Naruto's birthday. He celebrated with Uchi and the old man was glad that he was able to communicate with his father. Flashback, at Sasuke's birthday, Kakashi congratulated Naruto on his birthday. No one understood what was going on and Hokage screamed. "Yes, son, I'm sorry. I forgot about your birthday. Happy birthday to you too, but let's celebrate your birthday on your 8th birthday, asked Minato. "Good father. I don't need gifts, I've always wanted to see you, and it was such a gift from Grandpa and I'm very glad that I saw you earlier," I said with joy. Everyone also started their congratulations in honor of Naruto's birthday, and decided to give him money, who had it with them. Naruto was given a lot of money for his birthday, even the author could not count it. And since everyone was drunk to death after the birthday party of Naruto and Sasuke, and everyone went to bed and everyone fell asleep at the Uchi except us, we said goodbye to everyone while saying that the old man would kill us, and we went home while hurrying and walking in silence. The end of the flashback. And so we all went to bed and everyone was already sleeping at the ANBU headquarters, and everything was bad in Kushina's house. The children were crying, but then they stopped, referring to the fact that they have a mother, and Kushina was glad that they spat on Kushina's ex-husband. They celebrated their birthday well without their ex-father. Kushina also got all the money that was in the house, namely 1 billion ri, for life Kushina thought there was, and from Menma Kushina thought she would make her husband, and his sister would be the second wife for Menma, and the former Hokage family went to bed at 12 o'clock at night. Time skip is 2 years old, and now 2 years have passed. During this time, Minato Namikaze married Yukino Uchiha, and all Konoha was at the wedding and rejoiced at the new wife of Namikaze Sr. She is the sister of Fugaku Uchiha, and they met when Minato was outside the village. Flashback, he went to visit the Cloud Country. And so Minato was returning home when he saw 30 robbers. Minato was accompanied by his ANBU. "I'll deal with them myself. I ordered ANBU. "There is," said Captain ANBU, and so I threw a branded kunai at one robber and I turned out to be next to him and stuck my kunai into the throat that I picked up. Then I jumped up and scattered the kunai and began to teleport. Teleporting to the second robber. Before that I took the tanto from the slain enemy and I began to cut them further. I cut off the head of one, the third tanto in the heart and life is provided, the sixth tanto in the liver and it is not eternal. I stuck the seventh tanto in the ass, anal hole is provided, but so that it reached the throat and he died. I dealt with all the enemies and approached the girl. I killed those robbers in less than 3 seconds, justifying my title of the god of shinobi speed. And so I approached the girl. "Are you all right?" I asked sympathetically. "Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, fourth Sama. My name is Yukino Uchiha, I'm Fugaku Uchiha's sister. We haven't seen each other for a long time. I decided to move to his clan, I was on a trip." Yukino said excitedly. "Okay, send with us, I'll take you to the Uchiha clan, Fugaku, if that's my best childhood friend." Minato said with a smile. "Thank you very much." Yukino said. take her things and carry them. Minato ordered. Anbu obeyed and they took things, and we went to Konoha. When we came, we began to see her often and eventually started dating, which Fugaku was only for and assured that she was a great girl. That's how Minato and Yukino met. Yukino looked like this: black hair, black big eyes, looked like Mikoto, casual and standard Uchiha clan clothes, long hair, Uchiha facial features, in a word, better than Kushina. The end of the flashback. That I haven't changed at all, the same clothes just got bigger. Became even more beautiful. With Itachi, we love each other. I don't study techniques, I only mastered the style to the end of taijutsu and kenjutsu, and the rest that I studied. Now I study the techniques of the Namikaze clan, namely thunder coating and hiration. I began to use only sand and its properties. My favorite was to cut everyone into pieces with the help of huge diamond serpov. My training was over, but I continued to improve. This strength of mine became so because of this genome, and so on my birthday I met my new mom, which I was very happy about, and she loved me as a son, which Minato was very happy about. Now we were all sitting at the table and celebrating. We joked and told different stories and many other interesting things. And when everyone passed out from alcohol, and Shursui no longer argued with me and kept his hands near the fifth point with me, those who remembered it laughed, and I closed myself in. I went to bed while doing that. As always, tomorrow I still had to get into a charade. I howled. And when I fell asleep, I found myself in the subconscious randomly, and I realized it from the books I read. It said that Jinchuriki can get into their subconscious world where I was now. I went straight and reached the place where something was leading me. When I went there, I saw a huge cage and silhouettes that were playing shogi. Oh, you came, my boy. I'm a Shinigami, and this is Kurama the demon fox. Said Shinigami. I wasn't afraid of them and didn't even raise an eyebrow for the tens of thousands of murders that the third one provided me. You won't see it yourself. Hello Shinigami-sama and Kurama-sama, I'm Naruto Namikaze. I said indifferently without emotion. I understand you, Naruto, you killed many people who deserved it and not. Shinigami said. Yes, you're right Shinigami. Kurama said. We are your interlocutors, Naruto, since we have nothing to teach you, but you can call us whenever you want and without dying if you call me God. Shinigami said proudly. Okay, give me the scroll. I said. Shinigami handed me a scroll and I signed it with blood. Then he handed Kurama a scroll with an appeal and I also signed it. Now you can summon us, Naruto. Kurama said. Okay, thanks. I replied dryly. I quickly found myself near the seal and tore it off, but the fox wanted to stop, but when he saw that I calmly absorbed the chakra, he calmed down. You could have died. Kurama said, shouting at his idiot. I don't care, I want death, no I want death, but later. I said I don't care. And what at least? Asked Shinigami. I don't feel pain and sometimes it drives me crazy. I answered with pain in my voice, but without emotion. Clearly, you will die later, when you fulfill a prophecy that we will not say. Shinigami said. Okay, now I think we can communicate mentally, right? I asked those two. That's right, you can do it. Shinigami answered the kid's question. Okay, how do I get out of here? He asked again. Wish it. Said the red flea. All right, goodbye. I replied, disappearing. After I disappeared from the subconscious, I fell asleep. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. I lived in Minato's house. I moved from Hiruzen because he said I should live with my father and he told me that he would take me to ANBU after the academy, which I was glad that I could feel life further, since I would be a professional killer on missions. And so at 5 o'clock in the morning I took water treatments, combed my hair and tinted my claws, brushed my teeth, took time for my fangs, which were sharper than Madara's braid. After all this, it was already 6 o'clock and I went to practice. After practicing, I went to Ichiraka Ramen to swim at 8 o'clock in the morning. I went to ramen and sat down at a table. Old man, me as usual. I said without emotion. Oh, Naruto, hi, how are you? asked the old man Tucci with his daughter I am. And after the conversation, I said goodbye while eating 12 servings of ramen. I was walking along Konoha and there was no one, everyone was already at the academy, and I was walking slowly so as not to listen to the Hokage's remarks, but it wasn't there when I came. Minato appeared in a yellow flash to the joy of children and adults. Everyone admired this Hokage, and he nodded to me with a grin, saying the fact that you can't wait to miss my speech, while smiling. I got upset and went up to my mother and stood like a Hokage's son in the front rows, calmly, always ready for battle, the spitting image of Madara, only white-haired. The Uchiha stood next to us, and the Kazekage family, their children will study with us, this is to strengthen the union, so my father told me. And so I stood still like a statue with a stern look, and having seen a lot of blood, in those beautiful eyes, in 2 years I mentally died. Many people have heard about me, and these are adults and shinobi, and said not to communicate with me, because I could have killed. It happened at the age of 7, I then killed 5 jonins by flattening them with sand in the most cruel way, because they wanted to rape the girl Hyuga, but I helped her by killing them, and she shouted the demon ran away, but everyone still respected me, albeit with fear. My father knew everything, but he was proud of me, and Hirono was proud of the heir that I was, and while many children were wondering how I was standing so still and not blinking, they already began to be afraid of me. One child threw a stone at me, and I didn't even blink, and everyone had already buried him when the stone just started flying at me, and before the stone flew into my eye, he got into the sand protection. I raised my head. I asked it in a sepulchral voice, interrupting the event. Everyone pointed a finger at that boy. I asked, and people were already standing tensed. Calm down Naruto, I'll figure it out later. Kakashi said loudly and gave me 12 pills that I swallowed. Okay, don't stop me from thinking. I said in a cold tone, and Hokage continued, and everyone calmed down. I was talking to Kurama, and Shinigami was sleeping. Kurama, I see you are not comfortable here, let's change the subconscious, I asked, asking a question. Come on, it stinks a lot of shit here. Kurama said with disgust for this place that I started imagining mountains, forest, lake, clearing, sky, cirrus clouds, and then I opened my eyes watching Kurama's reaction. Thanks Naruto, because it was disgusting here. Kurama said happily. Let's be friends with a chicken, I asked the 9-tailed underling. Okay, you're worthy. Said the flea pathetically. I grinned and held out my fist, and so did the fox, and we bumped fists, and so I came out of the subconscious and Hokage started. Approach the stone that will predict your fate, namely who you will be in the future, he has never made a mistake. Minato said, and everyone started walking around. Menma Uzumaki, shouted the teacher with the scar on his nose. Yumano Irika, that was the name of this weirdo. Menma came out to the stone pathetically and stretched out his hand to the stone while putting his hand on the stone, and the old woman next to him who was standing declared. Average jonin, gay. That old lady said. Menma got angry. Go to the old woman. Then my mom will fuck you. Menma burst out and left, and everyone just burned over it. Like the Hokage, but everyone was surprised that I didn't react in any way. Sasuke Uchiha, shouted Yumano. Sasuke came out and did the same thing as Menma. The head of the Uchiha clan, the shinobi god at the Madara level, the protector of the leaf. The old woman said, and Sasuke grinned and was glad of it, since Sasuke lived by such a rule as being himself, which made this boy happy. Kiba Inuzuka, shouted Irika. Kiba did the same. Gay, clan head, Inuzuka clan head strength leveled. Said the old woman, and Kiba did not so much begin to cock for gay. Sakura Haruno. Irika shouted. The log went to the stone and did the same, and I was joking. I am not a philosopher, but I can say one thing, my words are poems. You are a log by a log, a stone will be stronger than a board, but a board and a stone like fire and lava cannot be without each other. I said shit. Kurama neighed in his subconscious, as did almost all the people present. What did you call me? I'll kill you later, yelled Haruno, but I didn't say anything, and then the board touched the stone. The the future wife of the shinobi god, strong, elite jonin, defender of Konoha, explosive character. Grandma said, and Sakura happily went to the family to show off. Naruto Uzumaki, shouted Irika. She came out pathetically to the stone and put her hand on the stone. Oh, my god. SHL *ha Bartelskaya, strength at the level of ANBU, Sha *Gava is still that, from *O set to anyone for money. Grandma said with disgust in the direction of Naruto. How dare you, old woman? You're no better yourself. You'd better go further away. Naruto screamed and swore that all the parents had covered the children's ears, and Minato was standing next to us and apparently also covered my ears for decency, and then she left angry to her mom. And when everyone calmed down, they continued. Hinata Hyuga, said Irika, she did the same thing that everyone else did. Jonin's power level, SHL *ha, God forgive me praz *tutka. Hinata started saying the same thing and yelling and then left like Naruto, and so all the children continued to come out in turn. And now it's my turn. Naruto Mamikaze. Hokage shouted already, as he told Irika that he would call him himself. I moved for the whole day and went under the eyes full of fear. Everyone held the children by the hand so that they would not be stupid. And so I slowly walked up to the stone and put my hand gently on the stone. Girls who were from 15 years old pierced me with loving glances, even the girls of the academy, but were still afraid, and so I touched the stone. The head of the Namikaze clan, the true god of speed, who will replace Hirashina-sama. He will have 3 wives, but there will be eternal darkness in him. He will be the darkest, strongest god. The old woman said, trembling very much in front of me. Okay, I'll go then. I raised an eyebrow and left without paying attention to the surrounding environment. I went up to Sakura and poured a ton of diamond, pure sand onto the ground with the help of my genome of sand. What are you willing to do for this? I asked with interest. Many realized that this was a wife check for Sasuke, and they understood because they knew Naruto Namikaze very well. I'm not corrupt, get out of here. Sakura screamed. It was a test, and you passed, but you need to treat me with respect, otherwise you may not live. I said in her ear and no one said anything, but they trembled. I went to my place and stood next to Yukino. Son, be polite, please. Yukino said, hugging me. I can't, Mom, my life is all in blood, I even killed more than my father almost. I said, lowering my head. No one heard it except Uchiha and Namikaze. They shuddered and wondered what kind of bloodlust I had. You can go to your classes. Yumino said. Everyone started to disperse, and I stood there waiting for something. And my father appeared next to me. Son, please don't kill anyone. I sent a message to Orochimaru. If he helps you, then I will remove the status of Nuke-Nin from him and he will be able to conduct experiments on criminals. I offered him favorable offers. Minato said calmly with a smile, relieving my tension. I said and went to my class under the accompanying gaze of Yukino and Minato, and so I reached the door and apparently one person did not recognize me. Give me the money or I'll kill you. That man said boldly and panting in front of his friends. I am the eldest son of Hokage and the heir of the head of the Namikaze clan. You disgrace our Namikaze surname and my father Minato Namikaze. I think it will be a viscous reason for me to kill you. I reasoned logically and in a cold voice. All the people who crowded at the still-going recess trembled. Please, I didn't know, don't kill me. Improvised, he said. He was preparing to kill me and I noticed it and didn't even pay attention. That man Nuname ran at me with a kunai, which meant that he was in high school, and so he ran up and swung a kunai at me in the neck to kill me. And I didn't even raise an eyebrow. That scared him. Zdoni, he shouted, as diamond sand jumped out of nowhere and stopped the blow. Everyone buried him. I took and raised my hand and a little sand appeared and I made 2 beautiful diamond sickles out of it and strengthened them with the wind, and they became extremely sharp that they could cut space if it were possible. I approached him slowly. Those who lived inside me watched this fascinating action. Die scum. I said without emotion, and immediately I was behind him. That they thought that I was preparing to kill him, as it was not there. His head flew off, and the second sickle from the back stuck through the heart of the pierced heart, and that man died, and the children screamed and everyone ran away, and Minato appeared that calmed everyone down. On the one hand, you're right, and on the other, he should have been put away. Minato said judiciously. Okay, next time I'll just turn it into porridge, like this. I said to my father and stretched out my hand towards the corpse, and all this sand wrapped around that, and I squeezed it all. I squeezed the brush and it turned into a bloody mess, and the sand further absorbed everything. Please don't do that again. Minato asked me. All right, father, I said to my father, the children are all in the toilets, you know what they were doing. And now an hour has passed and everyone calmed down, since the Hokage said that it was a criminal underhenge, and his son saved many. In fact, it was. And so I enter the classroom and go to an empty desk in the last row near the window. There was no one there, as if they knew that I would be sitting there. So I walked to the end of the class and sat down at that desk, and I went to bed. While I was sleeping, I chatted with Kurama and Shinigami, who tried to make me show emotions. Outside, the girls came up to me and started pulling my hair. The protection worked when someone threatened me. An ANBU girl appeared and Sasuke realized what was going on and only began to observe closely. Sasuke, where are you looking? Sakura asked, and Sasuke just pointed at that company with his finger. And what's the big deal? And Sakura fell silent when she saw ANBU, as well as the whole class. Depending on what happens next, girls are forbidden to touch him, according to the contract. He must marry the daughters of the Kazekage and the daughter of the head of the Uchiha clan by decree of the Hokage and the head of the clan, and also by agreement with the village hidden in the sand. ANBU said in a steely voice. And he can't have a personal life? Shouted New Name, and they only agreed. It's not up to you to decide, all questions are to the Hokage. Said Anbushnitsa and disappeared. All read that was not visible under the mask, and then everyone left resentfully, and Itachi was watching me. And so the daughters of Kazekage sat down with me from both sides and wanted to get to know me because they wanted to learn more about their future husband. Gaara-chan didn't have a pumpkin. Sand appeared out of nowhere like Naruto. Gavra stretched out her hand and began to control the sand that appeared, and she pulled the mask off my face, and everyone was wondering what he was hiding behind the mask. Even Itachi was interested. Under the mask was hidden, and when Gaara pulled off the mask, he had another mask, but Temari noticed a scar that was covered by a bang with a mask. Sister Gaara, listen, let's try again, and push his bangs away. Temari-chan said. Gaara nodded and wanted to stretch out the sand and take off the mask and push the bangs away, but I opened my eyes. What do you want? I was angry. We are your future brides, let us sit with you and we want to see what you have under the mask. Gaara said in unison with Temari, okay. I said with a grin that couldn't be seen under the mask. I took off the mask and another mask appeared in the picture. Okay, enough jokes. I said with a sigh and pulled off my mask completely, and my pretty face with a beautiful scar on the eye appeared to everyone, and immediately all the girls ran up to me with the upperclassmen and crowded around me, and I just sighed and sat still. The entire male audience was envious except for Shikamaru Nara and Chujiya Kimichi. They only sympathized with me, as I noticed. Well, Sakura stayed with Sasuke, and Sasuke made it clear with a look that Itachi would castrate me if anything happened. I jumped up on the desk and formed diamond sand and made a flying cloud out of it and lay down on it while flying up to the ceiling. They wanted to jump up to me, but no one could and waited for me to come down. The bell rang and Irika Yumino came into the classroom. All superfluous people leave the classroom and everyone to their seats, ordered Yumino. Everyone immediately left the classroom and took their seats. I came down from the cloud and sat down at my desk to Gaara and Temari that they were happy, and I was hugged by two beauties of the school. Itachi wanted to, too, but ANBU's duty wouldn't allow it. And so Irika began to lead the bazaar. When everyone calmed down, we all go out in turn to the blackboard and introduce ourselves. Yumino said. How's that? Please give an example. Said the board. Okay, I'm Yumino Irika. I like to eat ramen and teach children. I don't like arrogant people, my hobby is to teach you, the goal is to become the director of the academy, the dream is the same. Yumino said with a smile. Can I ask a question? I asked without emotion. Yes, yes, but quickly so that everyone can introduce themselves. Irika answered my question. We have 2 blackboards in our class, don't we? No, I don't think so. Yumino replied. But I see 2, there is a school board and a class board, which one should I approach? I asked without emotion and Sakura began to squeal. No Naruto-kun, it is necessary to approach the blackboard. Yumino said, and I nodded without paying attention to Sakura, and everyone was laughing, even Sasuke decided to laugh, and when everyone calmed down, the teacher began to call to the blackboard. The author's POV. I will introduce not many people. The end of the POV. The author. Sasuke Uchiha. Come out to the blackboard and introduce yourself. Said the teacher. Sasuke came out and sang a hurdy-gurdy. Oh, tomatoes have gone up in price, you have no idea how. Oh, I'm not talking about that. My name is Sasuke Uchiha, I love tomatoes and family, I don't like arrogant and I don't like unripe tomatoes, my hobby is eating tomatoes and training, my goal is to become a worthy head of the Uchiha clan, my dream is to make fun of Naruto. Sasuke said and laughed at the first words, and then the girls screamed, and the guys were jealous. Sasuke grunted and left and sat down at his desk to the cries of the girls. Sakura Haruno. Come out to the blackboard and introduce yourself. Said the tormentor. Sakura went to the board while twerking towards Sasuke that he had a boner and he successfully hit it. My name is Sakura Haruno, I love Sasuke, I don't like Naruto, no, I won't visit him at all because he is more beautiful than Sasuke, the goal and dream is to rape Sasuke and the hobby is to rape Sasuke. Haruno said shamelessly and conscientiously. The whole class almost died of laughter, and Sasuke was morally disgraced. The teacher also laughed at Sasuke, my eyes see at an angle of 360 degrees and it doesn't bother me, but it helps to control the sand perfectly, and you think what am I doing? I can tell if you don't get me the last volume at the moment that came out, Ika, you'll understand when you see, the cover is new, well, you understand, right? I asked Sasuke calmly without emotion and for a long time wearing a mask and with an eye smile, I turned to Sasuke. Yes, Naruto, I'll get it tomorrow, but don't tell anyone. Sasuke said with a pleading look and everyone was just surprised. Can't you buy it yourself? Shouted Kiba. I have a Hokage father and all my purchases are controlled. I said calmly. Kiba fell silent, and Sakura was already sitting in her seat, snuggling up to Sasuke-kun. So, let's continue. Menma Nami, O Uzumaki, said Irika. Menma came out and began to introduce himself pathetically. I am Menma Uzumaki, I love my family, I hate Naruto and Minato, my hobby, there is no one, my dream is to become a Hokage, and the goal is to kill those 2. Menma said, looking at me. Well, try it, I'll be glad, because I don't feel pain and it hurts like hell not to feel pain. I said like a philosopher. No one understood and decided to continue, and Irika scored on Menma as if he was not there. Go to the place. Irika said, and Menma was already sitting at his seat. The next Kiba Inuzuka, said Irika. Kiba came out and started to cock. I am Kiba Inuzuka, I love my family, I don't like traitors, my hobby is to play with my puppy, the goal is to become a worthy head of the Inuzuka clan, the dream is the same. Kiba piped up. Okay, sit down. Said Irika and Kiba went to his place, then I did not listen and did not pay attention and went into the subconscious to play shogi. Hi kurama. Hello Shinigami. I shouted calmly. Hi, are you ready to lose? The 2 asked. I have never lost and I'm not going to. I said. Well, we'll see. Shinigami and Kurama said in unison. They decided to play together against me, but everything was even, they began to fight against each other because they could not decide how to go properly, and I returned to my world because someone was moving me. And so I open my eyes and see what I didn't expect, I was squeezed by cans of 2 tugs, the author's POV. Temari had a third breast size, and Gaara had a second and a half. This is interesting to anyone. The end of the POV. The author. Oh, you're awake, go and introduce yourself Nyashka. They said together. I got up under the envious glances of the guys and went to the blackboard. Introduce yourself Naruto-kun. Yumino said tensely. I am Naruto Namikaze, the son of Minato Namikaze of the 4th Hokage. I am the heir of the head of the strongest Namikaze clan in the world. I will become the head at the age of 16 by contract. I love my family, hate traitors. I killed more than 10,000 of them. My hobby is to read books by Jirai-sama. The goal is to kill 100,000 shinobi and get the title of the third god shinobi, a dream to feel pain or just accept it. I said dryly. Sit down Naruto, you said everything very well, you can go to the desk. Yumino said. Okay. I answered and sat down to two beauties already. Today is an introductory lesson. You can be free, shouted Irika, and everyone left. I went last, and when I left the academy, Naruto offered the Chunins to kill me for a blowjob. They didn't mind and were waiting for me. It's him. Naruto pointed her finger at me. When they saw who was coming, they bowed their heads and got down on one knee. Naruto-sama, excuse us, we were afraid of Kushina-san's anger. Said the two in unison. Don't be afraid, she won't hurt anyone or will be killed like her offspring, but I'll send Menma to a gay club, and I'll rent Naruto to a brothel. You can go, I'll kill her next time. I said dryly. Those left, and these two disappeared already, and I went on. Naruto. Wait for us. Temari shouted. I stopped and started listening. We were staying in a hotel and our father told us that we would live in your house. Will you see us off? They asked. Okay, but only you will sleep with me. I made a nice smile. They are very red. Good Naruto-kun, and hugged me, and we went home, and when Naruto got home with his girls, he opened the door and went in. You can take off your shoes here, as well as hang up your clothes. I'll take you to the room, but in the meantime, undress. I'll wait for you. I said calmly, okay. Temari replied, and Gaara nodded, and when they undressed, I took them to my room. Mom, I'm not alone at home. Okay, let's hurry up and go eat. My mother answered me coming up to me. Greetings to you. She said, hello, Yukino-san, Naruto told us about you. Temari said. Gaara nodded. Okay, let's hurry up. Mom said okay. I said and led them to my room, and so I opened the door to my room, and we go through it. You can put your clothes in those two closets. The room is large, the bed is also, so there is enough space. I said with a nice smile. Okay Naruto-kun, and take off the mask, we want to see you without it. Gaara said, and Temari limited herself to nods. Very well, for your sake, my queens. I told them a compliment. The girls blushed. Fooled, said Temari, puffing out her cheeks, and so they began to change clothes. Naruto, are you going to stand here like this? Asked Gaara-chan. Yes, I have to see my beauties. I said so that I made them embarrassed. So, what are you up to here? Itachi asked in a sarcastic voice. No, I wasn't going to. I said scared, because I knew that the diamond protection does not work on her, because she is trying to teach me a lesson and this is for my good and the sand allows her to hit me. Well, we came to visit you. Itachi replied. We're coming right now, Temari said, and Itachi dragged me by the collar. I greeted the head of the Uchiha clan. Greetings to Fugaku-sama and Mikoto-san. I said. Hello Naruto-kun. Fugaku and Mikoto said amiably. Naruto, only up to the age of 16, no, said Mikoto, and Itachi stood next to her and blushed terribly. Minato suddenly appeared and laughed, as did Fugaku, and they went somewhere. Mikoto-san, I wasn't going to. I said hesitantly. Mikoto and Yukino Uchiha laughed in the fist, and Itachi was like a ripe tomato. Sasuke. Brother Naruto. Will you train me? Sasuke shouted, who came running from the kitchen with a tomato. Yes, only later. I smiled that it was unexpected for everyone to. How did you smile? Itachi asked, moving away from the paint. Everyone started listening with interest. Well, how can I tell you? I just resigned myself to my fate, and the fox sometimes asked him to burn me from the inside with his chakra. I said with a smile. Wow, said in unison the sisters who were already going down. Oh, are the three princesses all here now? I asked with a grin. The girls blushed. Brother, maybe you'll throw compliments around later? Sasuke asked. Yes, you're right Sasuke, I can give you with the help of seals all the knowledge of the Uchiha clan, from where I learned them. You can ask, but I will answer that one person helped me, or rather God. I said so that Sasuke was delighted. And what is the fee for this? And what's the catch? Asked Sasuke thoughtfully. Yes, you're right, the seal will give knowledge gradually, so as not to turn the air into a vegetable or a tomato. I smiled, telling Sasuke. Well, I don't mind and I think it's personal and I won't ask you. Mikoto said, interrupting the conversation. Yes, you're right, it's better not to ask. I said, and we all went into the kitchen and sat down at our seats. Yukino and Mikoto started serving food. And that's when everything was ready. Itadakimasu. They all said and started eating. Everyone was talking, and at the end of the evening, everyone dispersed. Minato had a place to sleep in the house. Itachi went to sleep with Naruto and his sisters Gaara and Temari, and their brother Kankuro was also in the house where Naruto lived, only he was sleeping now, and did not go anywhere. The author's POV. I completely forgot about Kankuro. The end of the POV. The author. And that's when everyone went to bed. I came from the shower. Itachi, put on my nails, makeup is washed off. I said with pink hair that I didn't notice. Good Naruto. Itachi turned on the light and saw Naruto and didn't say anything. All the girls laughed. I didn't understand anything and sat down at the chair. Itachi started painting my nails white, and each painted nail was covered with diamond patterns. Girls. They giggled a little. Naruto, don't you want a hairstyle like Kakashi's? Itachi asked. Yes, only for the likeness and the hair to be longer. I said, smiling. Itachi, after she painted her nails, began to do her hair carefully so that Naruto would not see her hair color. And so Itachi finished cutting her hair. You'll see everything Naruto later, and now run to bed, Itachi said sternly. The lemon scene was skipped. Morning has come. I woke up next to three of the most beautiful girls in the world, but I had to go to training and so I got out of bed in the way of a scout, namely, I gently crawled between Itachi's legs. I jumped up and quickly ran into the bathroom and began to do water treatments and brush my teeth. Then I went to my mom's room to touch up my nails. I went into my mom's room and took a makeup bag and started doing my manicure. Then I went out quietly and went to train on an empty stomach, which is useful by the way. Here I am standing on the landfill near our mansion. It was the most expensive among all the countries of the House of Kage. And here I am standing at the training ground and started to warm up. After 10 minutes of warm up with 1,000 clones, I finished. Then I started to train everything according to the standard, except for techniques. I didn't need them because of the genome. And so time passed and I went to the house to eat. I went into the house and went into the kitchen. Everyone was asleep. I cleaned everything with the help of diamond sand in an instant and started cooking. After cooking, I laid out for everyone to eat. Company rise. I shouted so that everyone jumped out of their seats and flew into the ceilings. Dad, now we need a master to make ceilings. I added. Naruto, don't do this anymore, please. Said and asked Hokage. It's good to bat. I replied. We started pulling everyone out and sat down at their seats. Excuse Minato for the ceiling, apparently expensive repairs will be, asked Fugaka. No, don't worry, I can buy at least as many of these houses. I said proudly, already finishing my food. The children and their wives came down and started yelling. Love, Naruto will buy everything, don't worry. Minato said. Okay, but this is the last time. Yukino said menacingly. Girls, you eat too, I'll wait for you near the house. I said. Good Naruto-kun. They said in unison. And Naruto's hairstyle suits you very well. Itachi said. Everyone looked at my hair and neighed like horses. I'm off, I said, offended. Naruto, we'll tell you at the end of the day. Minato said, chuckling. All right. I answered and went to wait. I left the house and my back rested against a brick post. The fence was decorated with diamonds. Girls passed by and wanted to rape me when they saw me, but everything went fine. Half an hour later, the girls came out. Itachi kissed me quickly on the lips and disappeared to follow me, and those two sisters began to envy. I went up to them and also kissed them on the lips, and we went to the academy together. We were already approaching the academy, and now we passed the gate and entered the academy itself. We went to our class. Here I am knocking. Come in. Apparently the teacher shouted. We entered. Where have you been? Yumino asked menacingly. If I were with my father now, you wouldn't be working here already. I said, not caring. I'm sorry, Naruto-san. Irika said. We walked to the back of the classroom and sat down at the last desk. Kankuro was already in the classroom and let airplanes into everyone. Naruto, can you answer my questions? Yumino asked. I know everything, but I go to school at the whim of Grandpa III. I said. Irika decided not to touch me anymore and not even think, because he understood that such treatment would be bad for him in the torture chamber. Here comes the practice, the second part of the lesson. We all went to the training ground of the academy and the teacher started giving us shurikens and kunai, as well as senbons, and he told us about these types of weapons in the first part of the lesson. Irika-san, I'll use my kunai and so on, okay? I asked. Yes, good. Said the other. I was very far from the targets. I was standing on the edge of the polygon, and the targets were at the end of the polygon. I formed senbons and the rest of 10 pieces, and started throwing all these types of weapons like itachi. Naruto, better throw it yourself. Yumino said. Lon, I was going to. I replied. I took my kunai and threw them at the speed of sound. I did the same with shurikens and senbons, but I did it like itachi. The targets are all for the fuck and the forest is nearby too. I scattered them myself in the end. Well, how do you like it? I replied. Naruto. You threw them without a chakra with such power. Shouted Irika. Oh, I forgot to add the chakra. I complained that everyone's mouth was walking around the land of fire, and Menma began to cock with Naruto for company and yell like a demon. How did you become so strong? Demon, give strength. Demon, I will rape you. That's what they said, and then everyone saw my hair. It was under the henge, since Itachi told me to do it so that the girls wouldn't run after me even more. I asked, getting angry and forming 3 diamond dragons. Naruto-san, your hair is pink. Irika said. How pink? I asked. You didn't know? Irika asked, and the whole class was surprised by his answer. No, but I know one thing, namely that we will now have in the village not a copying ninja Kakashi Hatake, but a homo Kakashi of the hidden leaf. I raised my tone angrily. Naruto-kun, I have a paint removing water, do I need it? Asked Ino Yamanaka. Bring it. I said nervously. I formed an ultra-thin senbon and launched it with all my strength into a tree with a wind chakra. Senbon went through the tree so that there was a perfect hole and scattered it. I lay down under a tree and waited for Ino. While everyone was throwing kunai and the rest, I was already asleep. And so Ino comes up to me and holds out a special water and gives it to me. I got up and started pouring it all on my hair, and my hair became very white and with diamond stripes. It was very beautiful, and all the girls flowed, and Temari and Gaara-chan came up to me and hugged me. So Naruto suits you better. The girls said, and the guys were jealous again. Kankuro behaved like a little pervert. You can go home, lessons are over. Shouted Irika, and everyone went home. I went home with the girls, and when we arrived at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I turned around and went. I saw you off, but I have to go on business. Tell mom the same thing. okay? I asked. Good Naruto-kun. They hugged me and entered the house that I ran to Sasuke, who should already be at the academy. And so I run up to the Shinobi Academy and see Sasuke. Sasuke apparently gave his bag to Itachi to take away, and he stayed to wait for me, but he didn't think it through badly. Itachi would lose sight of me at least. Hi Naruto, come on, I want to be a co-author of your books. Sasuke said. Okay Sasuke, let's go. I said, and we went to the most expensive springs. Sasuke and I had no problem getting in there. Our clans are among the richest and very influential. The Namikaze clan took first place on all fronts, and the Uzumaki took second place, and the Uchiha clan is generally in third place in strength and influence of the clan along with Senju. Here we are already going through the purchased tickets to the hot springs. We booked a men's room for 2. We started taking water treatments, and Sasuke almost fell asleep from such bliss. Sasuke needs to work, not sleep. I said. Yes, you're right. Sasuke said. In the name of the Tans, we said together only quietly the author's POV. Well, that's the part. Wait for the next one. Here Kenkuro is like Toby. The end of the POV. The author. And so Sasuke and I started recording the material, and when we finished, we sat in the sources for a while and dispersed. I was walking home and heard the girls' screams. I ran into the alley and saw how a girl was being raped, and it was Naruto. I didn't do anything and just looked from the side. Then there was the lemon, and so I left her there when the moans were prevented, and it was already evening and there was a lot of moaning from there all night, because drunk men went there all night and she got up very quickly. And so I went home and took off my shoes. Mom, I'm home. I told her. Hi, my son, go eat, said Mom. I went to the shower and started to wash and immediately preen there. And so I got out of the shower and went to the kitchen and sat down at the table. Mom put food on and we started eating. Itadakimasu. They all said and have already started the meal. After we ate. Father, I don't want to go to the academy, I want to go to the ANBU, until I'm 30 and then leave for the post of head of the clan. I said seriously. Naruto, are you sure? Asked Minato. The sisters were asleep at that time and they were not woken up. Yes, father. I replied. Well, I'll prepare the documents. Minato said. Okay, warn grandpa, I will work alone in the ANBU, under your and his command. I said seriously already. Okay Naruto, I believe in you, I will also warn the head of the Hirono Namikaze clan. Minato added. Yes, thank you father, I'll go to the headquarters, I know where it is, I'm the son of Hokage. I said proudly. Yes, yes, my son. Minato smiled. So I went to the ANBU headquarters. When I came, no one understood what I was doing here. What are you doing here Naruto-sama? One of the captains of his ANBU squad asked. I am a loner now, I ask you not to ask questions. I said to Tom, and he just bowed and left, and here I am standing in the office where they give out masks. Please give me that mask over there, a Shinigami mask. I said. Good Naruto-san, said the man and gave me ANBU clothes and a Shinigami mask. I went through the corridors and went into my father's private office and decided to stay here. I put all my things away and went to bed. I woke up in the morning and put on ANBU gear and disappeared into the sand. I found myself in the Hokage's office at 7 o'clock in the morning. Hello Hokage-sama. I said, getting down on one knee. Greetings Naruto, I see you have chosen a Shinigami mask for yourself, you are released from the academy, and you are still working in the ANBU until you are 16, then 1 year of vacation, then you will perform missions and rest, at the end you will leave for the post of head of the clan. Is that clear? The Hokage asked his son. Yes, father. I replied, and Minato smiled at these words. Here is your first mission, your task for the first year, you will have to protect the daimyo's castle in the land of ice. They asked for help, more details in the note. Minato said briefly, and I nodded and disappeared into the sand, and so I was at the gate of the village and wanted to go already as I was stopped. Naruto, good luck to you, we will wait, said 3 girls and kissed in turn while pushing my mask away. They kissed me passionately and waved goodbye to me. And I took off with the help of sand and flew to the land of ice. A week has passed and I was standing at the entrance to the castle when I came in. Stop. Who's coming? The 12 guards at the entrance asked. I'm reinforcements from Konoha. I said in the lifeless voice of a doll. Well, since you were sent alone, then you are very strong, right? One of the guards asked with interest. Yes, I am the son of Minato Namikaze. I answered, and I was taken to the main one. Here I am standing in the daimyo's office. I welcome you to my daimyo castle. I ask you to help us destroy the Grass Army and the Star Army. There are more than 50,000 of them. Said the daimyo. It's simple, I'll help you. You'll pay off your father yourself. I'll go do it. Just take me to the main army. I asked, okay. Said the daimyo and sent his warrior with me to the hot spot. So we approached there and the enemy troops began to laugh. The whole army of ice was destroyed. The warrior was stunned and passed out because they killed an army of strong warriors. I am Naruto Namikaze, and today, after killing you, I will become a shinobi god at the age of 8. I shouted in silence, and they neighed and rushed into battle. I have formed a huge, giant arena where their entire army is united together. The arena was made of sand. Everyone was scared and some tried to get out, but could not decide to fight. Attack, everyone shouted, and I ran. And so I ran to the war, which will be remembered as the bloodiest in the history of shinobi, and so I decided to eat. As I was getting here I forgot to eat, and so they started attacking me. My sand protected me and they became very afraid, and in the meantime I started cooking shish kebab. I took it, planted on iron chopsticks meat and started cooking shish kebab. And what about the battle? The main one asked, shouting and afraid. Live as long as you can pray, and I'll eat in the meantime, otherwise my mom will beat me. I said resentfully, and they only got even more scared. And now 3 hours have passed. So, I ate, and I decided that I would leave 100 people alive, and it would be those who would be on the other side faster, except for the Star Warriors. I don't like you. I said sternly, and 5 minutes later there were people standing there. Diamond Pogri. Although no, it will be so boring. Diamond sickles, I shouted, and these huge sickles formed. I took it and like Madara, I just started cutting everyone to the right and to the left faster. All the guts and other organs were scattered. It was a bloodbath when I killed. I ran, so I quickly dodged and cut everyone with very sharp and precise movements, and 10,000 remained. I got bored and I got up. I'm bored, Diamond Burial, I shouted to the technician. And immediately tons of sand from the sky crushed everyone into mush. Who saw it just rejoiced with full pants that they were alive. And I removed my barrier, and everyone ran away like cockroaches. The battle was really 7 days since I did not forget to eat and take a nap. Here I am on one knee near the daimyo of the land of ice. We are grateful to you, Anbu, or Naruto Namikaze. Now you are the 3rd god of shinobi. I officially appoint you to them, and your second nickname is the Blood Reaper. Said the daimyo with pride. Thank you to the daimyo of the land of ice, but I still need 40,000 victims for my dream. Even that Madara killed 80,000 in his time, and I only 60. I said dryly. You can be free. The daimyo told me and wished me good luck in my goal, which everyone was surprised at. I decided to travel the world for a whole year and kill Nukanins. Now I was in a village hidden in the rain. According to my data, Akatsuki lived there. And all the Akatsuki appeared near me when I crossed the gates of this village. Wait, who are you? The red-haired man asked, although he knew the answer. It's stupid to ask knowing who I am, right? I want to offer you a deal, I said. Nagato asked, ignoring the first words. You will stop by my father Minato Namikaze's bodyguards, and I will not kill you in return. I said with a grin. Go fuck yourself, I'll fuck you and sacrifice to Jashin-sama. Haiden shouted and ran at me, and so everyone thought he killed me when he hit me, but it turned out that he hit the defense, and his scythe shattered in a second. Everyone was scared. I agree, Naruto-sama. The leader bowed. I'm doing this because we can't kill you, we'd rather live in peace than burn in hell. Nagato said, and everyone supported him. Haydn cried, swearing. I went up to him and gave him a diamond scythe with 3 very sharp and long blades. This scythe will not break through my protection, since the diamond does not break through itself, so this is your new weapon, and I will give everyone a weapon for your style. You will be all sins. Zetsu, ready to follow us? I asked, and he nodded, because Zetsu's mother said if he sees a person, a young man with such a genome is not going to go after him. Yes, I agree. Zetsu said. Well, Haydn, you are now the bearer of the scythe of death. When you apply a scratch on your will, you can kill him while the victim automatically goes as a victim to Jashin. She also increases your regeneration. You are now one. Zetsu, I give you a weapon, or rather protection. Now you can't break through, only I can kill you all in this world. Now you are a professional shinobi on surveillance. Conan, I know all your names, so I give you a bag. There is an infinite amount of diamond dust in it. When creating origami it will be diamond and very light. Now you are a diamond angel. I will give you diamond hearts as a prize, which makes you immortal now. Sasori, I'm giving you a diamond heart and a diamond Shinigami doll. I think it looks like the original Shinigami himself. He made this doll himself. I'm giving it to you. I give you Deidara, the same powder as Conan, but it is clay and endless. It will work as long as you have a chakra. As soon as the chakra ends, you will have to restore it and you will be able to use diamond clay. I do not recommend impregnating weapons with chakra, since it will only absorb it, but it will only absorb your chakra. Kisame, I give you a human form. I also give you a diamond devouring sword, or rather, I made a diamond devouring sword from your sword. It will absorb any chakra, but it does not work on me. I control sand without a chakra, as well as my shield. For betrayal I will withdraw your weapons and give them to others worthy people. Nagato Uzumaki, I give you as a captain, a diamond Rinnegan, or rather a Rinne Sharingan with a true form. It can form any diamond tool, object, chair, and so on. As soon as the chakra ends, you will not be able to create anything. You will have to wait for the replenishment of the chakra. Your weapon will not cause me anything. I can't dispel, but these are my artifacts. I can take them away from you at any time. I am the progenitor of these tools. Even the strongest artifact, Tatsuka sword, will not be able to resist my tool. So now there are these artifacts, and your organization sins. You work for my father. I said that everyone listened, and everyone swore allegiance to me. Since you are immortal to some extent, then enjoy life, and you will be the guardians of the land of fire. And so we went to Konoha, and so we came to Konoha. We were met by the guards. Wait, who's coming? The guard asked in a scared voice, and the other one disappeared after the Hokage. As I noticed, I'm Naruto Namikaze. These people are a new unit for Konoha. I replied, good Naruto, said the Hokage who appeared. Oh, father. I hugged my father, and he hugged back. Naruto can go, and I'll take those with me. Minato said, pointing at those. All right, father, I answered and went to my future wives. Here I go to Namikaze's house, open the door and quietly make my way into the house. I started washing my hands, and then went to the kitchen, but an accident happened. Pots, oars, mats, pans, kunai, senbons, ladle, rolling pin, all this flew at me, and I didn't have time to react. How dare you fuck some bitch, they shouted at me, and I was lying around and couldn't say anything. I'm sorry, it wasn't me, it was Menma. He was in hang and he did it on purpose. I said, eating with a lively voice, so we believed you. Now you are punished, and you are our slave. Itachi said with a maniac smile that made me shudder. Itachi put a collar on me, and with my duty, as she said, I will be electrocuted, and the current strength is like purple lightning, almost like the black one that I had. In a word, **EC, I thought, sit down to eat. Itachi ordered. Good. I said in a trembling voice. So I started eating, and when I had eaten, I went to Sasuke. Here I was near his house, no one noticed me and I knocked. Sasuke came out. Oh, Naruto. Sasuke said happily, yes, as a material, I asked. Yes, everything is normal. Everything that you sent me I made into a book and a beautiful cover and added a little of my own. I came up with the name, Pranks of Young 18+, to the book. Sasuke said, well, Sasuke, I liked it. Let's get a book and we'll make copies. I said okay, but I made copies, more than 10,000 pieces. Sasuke said, wow, well done, let's go to the market, and we'll leave one. I'll take it away as the most important thing. Okay, enough chatter and let's go, said the young pervert. Or me, a bald monkey or a hidden perverted leaf monkey, said the voice from the subconscious. That I got angry, but I didn't understand the look, and we went with Sasuke to sell books. The stupidest mistake is that we indicated our signatures. If our relatives see us, then pi asterisk will come to us, and it's not far off, Sasuke. The main thing is that no one sees our relatives, do you understand? I said, yes, bro, Sasuke said, and I just grinned in Namikaze. Sasuke was frightened by this grin and shuddered. At the end of the day, I went to the Hokage residence and entered the door without knocking, referring to the fact that I can. And I saw a picture that shocked me very much and I opened my mouth. Father, I didn't expect this from you. I said, son, I'm sorry. Minato said, I won't be able to be at home on the weekend. I forgot to work with the papers, and there are more than 1 million pieces of paper, and the norm is no more than 30,000 a month. Minato said sadly, Father, well, does mom even know? I asked. Yes, she sympathized with me. Minato said, and mentally in bed, oh, yes Naruto, the war will be the 4th World War in a month, do you have a draft? Minato asked, yes, my surprises, oh, more precisely, the calls will be surprises, I said, and the Hokage was not surprised, although he was mentally glad that his son was a true warrior. Naruto, come to the war in a month, and now cut out all the Hyugas, and in the war I hope you will prove yourself as a true shinobi and you will be forgiven. Minato said seriously, I see, so they want to act at night? I asked, and the Hokage nodded, well, father, everything will be done, tell my wives that this is such a mission, which it is, I said to my father, and he nodded a lot. That I disappeared and began to prepare for the massacre, namely, I forgot to eat. Now it was 12 o'clock at night, I formed my weapon, and very young children up to 6 years old were at home, as I understood, and I decided to kill this bunch and rushed at them. They didn't understand anything, but I killed right and left. Screams and cries of pain were heard all over Konoha, although the same thing, all the residents ran to see who did it and saw me. Naruto, Itachi said, and I disappeared in the sparks of diamond sand. All the ANBU took the residents away, and I was going to carry out missions and kill. I even decided to kill innocent people in order to become the most expensive on the black market. Only I decided not to do it in the land of fire. Kushina and her children lived as usual, having fun with themselves. Menma, Naruto and Kushina were engaged in group sex often, and Naruto couldn't walk after me for a whole month. A huge bolt penetrated her narrow hole then, but she didn't know that it was ours. In general, they lived well, and the old woman made a mistake with the prediction, or she decided to make fun of Kushina's children, remains a mystery. A month has passed and the great shinobi war has begun. All the armies were standing apart from each other and suddenly I appear, under the nickname Kira, or the third shinobi god, only with an addition, the third bloody shinobi god who killed a lot of shinobi and children, as well as the elderly. Meet me. I'm Naruto Namikaze, who killed more than 500,000 shinobi and people. I shouted very loudly. Everyone trembled and began to shake from this shinobi. They said that he was a descendant of Satan himself. Here came the 4th Shinobi World War. I appeared in the middle of 2 armies. Everyone trembled. The enemies were stupidly afraid of me. There are many of us. Let's kill him, said some shinobi made of stone. The others began to agree, and the shinobi were afraid of the leaf, because they knew that they would not kill me. He's on our side, shouted Minato Namikaze to the army. I have already introduced myself, and I also think, and decided that it's boring to fight with you. I will only fight with Hashirama and Madara, I said, and their army was scared about this secret. Good. Kage shouted, and they called 2 coffins, and 2 shinobi gods jumped out of the coffins. Who resurrected us? Asked Madara, going out of control with Hashirama. I am Naruto Namikaze, the 3rd god of the shinobi world. I challenge you to a fight. I am the blood god. I shouted with a crazy, very crazy smile that scared everyone. Those 2 realized that there was a war now, but decided to fight with me. A minute later, the fight began, everyone's heart began to beat violently, and a minute passed. And only we 3 disappeared from sight, and the rest decided to watch. They were afraid now that Naruto would lose because they got out of control. Here I was near them and blocked 2 blades with my sickles, which I formed when I moved to them. Not bad, very good. Madara said, and Hashirama nodded. I'm flattered, but let's fight. I said. So we continued to fight. I fought 1 against 2, the blades cracked, and suddenly with a sharp swing I knock out Madara's weapon and chop off his head. Hashirama went crazy and created a golem and a Buddha statue with thousands of hands, and Madara restored his head and summoned Susanoo and covered 3 huge monsters. Hashirama managed to summon a tree dragon as well. Weakly, watch. I said, but they did not understand, and I folded the seals and called the 2 strongest. These are my calls. I said. It can't be. Hashirama said. This is the god of death, said Madara Uchiha. Everyone was terrified. Shinigami, kill those 2, Kurama, destroy half of that army. I said Shinigami, and the fox showed him where he needed to go. Everything happened instantly. The past gods fell dead. I started forming a lot of things out of sand from my sand. I started fighting and cutting everyone myself. 10% of the army remained. You can go to the village, or I'll kill you all at once. I said breathlessly, and 9% ran away. All right, die. I said and killed them with the god of burial technique, everyone who managed to escape, and the armies of sand and leaf stood and were blown away by this. The war is over. There won't be any more of it, or else I'll kill everyone. This is the last world war. She will be the last while I'm alive. I said loudly, and I left those Kage alive. Everyone started applauding and shouting. I went to the village on willpower. I had almost no chakra in me. And so I approached my father. I was with a naked torso, and torn shinobi pants. The sand protects only the body, not the clothes. Biju came out of all the dead Jinchuriki and bowed their heads near me. I folded the seals without words and sealed them into myself. I did not change. The tailed ones peacefully recognized me and remained to live in me, and then I turned my head to my father. Father, I want to become the head of the clan. I told him. Well, son, you deserve respect. You have 1.5 million murders on your shield, as I see. Minato asked and said. Yes, father. I said and passed out. The girls ran up to me and started hugging and crying. He didn't die, so let's take him to the village, Minato said loudly. Everyone immediately forgot Naruto's sins and recognized him as a hero. Now I am 25 years old. I am the head of the Namikaze clan, the strongest person in this world, and since I did not die, Rikuta came to me and gave his strength. It was after the war. Now I have children, each 3 years old. They have the same genomes, but one has gold dust, another has iron, and the third has ordinary. They were all Namikaze. One of my sons was named Madara, the second has Hiram, the third Boruto. Their names are original. Now these hurricanes were running around Konoha and enjoying life. I forbade everyone to say how many I killed and that I am in the bingo book. I am worth more than 1 trillion there. Here I am sitting in the office of the head of the clan, and I am writing. I am thinking about who I will be in hell, what will happen to me there. I have buried a lot of people cruelly. I will only live up to 500 years. So Shinigami told me, and exactly I will be the god of speed. In 500 years, time skip for another 5 years. My children go to the academy, and I'm often in bed with my wives and bumps on my head, which I get for jams. Hi father. I said to my father. Hi son, how are you doing? Asked Minato. Okay, where's mom? I asked. She's visiting Fugaku and Mikoto, and I decided to stay at home. said my father. Okay, then let's go to the hot springs, I asked him. Come on. Minato smiled. I'm going with you too, shouted Sasuke, who somehow happened to be at our house. Sasuke was also 30 years old, but sometimes behaved like a child, but he is the head of the Uchiha clan, likes to shirk and leaves clones. Send me the material for the book to write. I smiled maliciously and we went, and so the life of the man Naruto Namikaze began. That's the end of it.